I think we're live. Yeah, we're live. Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. Hello. Yeah, I was gonna do outreach on the streets, but the weather is being incredibly dickish today. It's not raining, it's not sunny, it's cold, and it's a bit rainy. It's gonna rain on and off, so we don't really have a good status on it. Um, so I thought it would be a good idea to do outreach like this today. And maybe I don't know if tomorrow I'll be back doing on the streets. It's a bit difficult because hard to explain. It's just a week, not just for me, but apparently also for my friends, and I'm trying to also help out my friends, and it's not always the easiest time. So yeah. So it's a little bit difficult to see about to tell you exactly about tomorrow. But today for sure we're here. We're gonna be doing outreach. I'll be joining the stream, the thing in a second, the Discord thing. It is. I've already done it for like an hour here on Discord, so let's see what we're doing. But before that, let me say hello to everyone who's here. Jake Lagatar is here. Hey Jake, nice to see you. Friday challenge, don't interrupt anyone when they're talking. Sure. Martin is here, love it. By the way, Kevin, I probably will interrupt people. Not because I want to, but because sometimes, well, not because I see it as a mistake, but sometimes interrupting is required. Swedish vegans are having outreach at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Fucking early birds. I'm not active until afternoon. Lol. Wow, Linda, I wake up pretty early every day. For me, if I wake up past 8:30, it's like the whole day is like it's way too late. What the hell's going on? Hey, Dandelion Gum, nice to see you here. Drew, always a pleasure. Hi, Chip and friends. Moonrise Studios, awesome. And Samarth. So we'll be joining the stream right now. If you want to join the server yourself, there's a link in the description. You can join. You can listen there if you want. Yeah, I would appreciate it if you also want to share this stream. Maybe you want to share it a little bit. And if not, well, that's it. That's okay. Thank you for being here. Hope you're having good conversations with everybody in the chat. Don't get too bogged down. We will be having trolls. We will be having people who, you know, let's face it, they just don't want to interact too well. Hey, Michael, nice to see you here. And yeah, that's it. Let's get to it. Just chill. Oh, sorry, but what I meant about the chat is do your best, have conversations, but don't get too frustrated. Don't get too invested in the conversations, okay?
Conclude my result.
Yeah, so do you know what sentience is?
Yeah, like
Yeah, what is
being
sentience?
and who have like conscience,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they consider to be sentient being.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's the reason why somebody is morally valuable, because they have this conscious experience of the world and of themselves. Asad, please let us finish, please.
I have a really serious question over here.
Oh, I'm sure.
Let's consider an animal, and if we kill its consciousness, let's say that we numb its brain, so can we kill them after that?
Well, you took away the consciousness of somebody, whether you numbed their brain or not. So no, you're taking away the experience of somebody. Like, let's put another sentient being in the stead of an animal, right? Let's put a human baby who's also sentient in the stead. Is it okay? Asad, listen. I'm saying.
Let's consider a scenario. You have only two options. You have to kill a dog or a baby. What would you kill?
I would probably kill a dog.
That's the fucking statement. That's the fucking statement by you, because human lives matter.
Asad.
Why are you putting a baby and
listen,
comparing
don't
it
just
with an
talk.
animal?
Asad, don't just talk, then allow me to respond to you.
Okay,
Allow me to respond to you. Yes?
carry on.
You asked the question. Allow me to. You asked me a question and answer it. Now, please allow me to give you a justification. So I think
Okay,
I would pay. Listen. Yes? So I think I would pay a social price if I killed a baby over a dog. And I think as a human being myself, I kind of value babies more. But if I had a third option of killing neither, I would take that. Yes, Asad?
I'm not saying you about this. I was considering that you are saying that if there is consciousness, if any organism has consciousness, then killing it is wrong. It's morally wrong. It's your premise. I think it's what you wanted to it's what you wanted to say, isn't it? We eat plants because they don't have consciousness.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to say?
Sure.
Then just simply take out the consciousness from the animals. Then why
Yeah,
can't we
but
eat
then
them?
you took away the consciousness. Whether you
So
put the
why taking away
Asad,
consciousness is wrong?
seriously, listen. I'm trying to explain to you, right? So both cows and the babies are sentient. So
Okay.
if you Asad, please listen. Don't
I'm
interject.
listening.
Okay. So if you think taking away the consciousness of a cow and then killing them is good, is better,
Obviously,
then
it's good
if
because they won't feel
Jesus
they won't
Christ,
feel bad or they even be hurt.
Asad, please, you're not very good at conversations. Please let me finish. So if you put a
Take one by one.
baby instead of the cow and take away their consciousness and kill them,
Okay.
would that be good?
It would be totally wrong because it's a baby. It's a human, not
Yeah,
an
it's a
animal.
sentient being
No,
that
don't
has
say
a
it's sentient. It's unhuman.
Excuse me?
What's the difference between a dog and a human?
Well, there are many differences, but
Just
none of them. Asad, please. You are incredibly hard to talk to because you're not listening. So there are many differences between a dog and a human, but none of them justify slaughter of an animal if we don't have to.
okay.
Why
So
are you
if
so
we take
motivated to convince others not to eat animal? Like,
Because
what
there
is
are
your
victims.
motivation?
Yeah, because there are victims to the actions of people who eat animal
they're
products.
also victims. So the
No,
plants
no.
are also victims.
What is your motivation? It's
My motivation,
morality?
my motivation is to globally stop the victimizing of sentient animals for unnecessary stuff. I think it's insane
Like-
that people eat animal products or exploit animals in other ways. And I'm trying just to stop the global insanity.
We say eating animal is necessary for humans. So
It's
it is
not.
out of necessity, not it's like a
Sorry,
victim victimizing someone else.
Yeah, what is necessary in animal products that we can't get from other sources like plants and supplements?
We eat animals. So it is our
No,
it is a
no.
part of our
Excuse
diet.
me.
No, no, no,
It is
no,
the
What
part
no,
of our
no.
is-
diet. You cannot like
Don't run away, Prism. What do we need from animal products that we can't
simple,
get
it's
from
pro-
plants
it's
and
pro-
supplements?
yeah, animals have different like importance,
What
and
do we
plants have
need
different
from
importance.
Sorry, you made the claim that it's necessary for humans to eat animal products. What is it in animal products that we can't get from plants or supplements that make it necessary for us to eat animal products?
So why are you like saying
Answer
that
the
we need?
question.
No, no.
Answer the
This
Don't
is
question.
prolong this answer. It's just simple.
Answer
this is
the
a
protein,
follow-up
question.
carbohydrates,
question.
etc. Why
This
are
is
you
a
Answer
follow-up
the
One by one.
question.
This
To
will be one by one.
it is to understand. Like I'm saying that what is
Answer
your
the
motivation?
question.
Hey, postmortem,
It is the
it's
answer.
simple. It's proteins and carbohydrates. Why are you
Okay.
prolonging this?
Yes,
Carry
yes.
on.
Sorry, you think you're
Let's
getting
play.
carbohydrates from
I totally
animal
agree with you.
products?
Listen, before you answer it, I totally agree with you that eating animals isn't essential for human beings. We can get our
Exactly.
protein and the other stuff from plants. But the question over here is that why do we have to eat plants? They are also alive. And if the
Yeah, but
same
they're
thing,
not
if you say
sentient.
they are not sentient.
Asset, they're not
No, I know
sentient.
you are saying that they
Asset,
aren't sentient.
they're not sentient.
Yes, I am saying that they are not sentiment, but the
Exactly. So there
this
is
over here
nobody
is
there to
simple.
have their
Listen,
experience.
listen.
Asset, please, I beg you,
It's
please
interesting.
listen.
If you take out the consciousness from animals,
Wait, how?
why then killing them is
How?
wrong?
Assad, how do you take out the consciousness?
It's simple, bro. Give them some medicines. Give them anything that takes out the consciousness.
Yeah,
And
kill
wait,
them.
wait, wait.
Kind of concept, why would they be hurt?
Assad, and if somebody did that to you or to a human baby, take out the
Why are you
consciousness and
comparing
then kill
it to
them.
humans, bro?
If
animals
somebody
and humans
Assad, before we go
that's
down
not
before we go down why I'm comparing, can you please just answer the question? If somebody did that to a human being, would it be fair?
No, that's
You are
totally
comparing
wrong.
animals
Answer
with
the
humans.
question.
So
No,
difficult.
humans
You are
and
saying
animals
both are
not
same,
equal.
so it's not true. Like you are
Assad,
saying
answer the
dog and
question.
baby
I
Prism,
won't
same.
answer the question
quiet.
because it's
Oh.
Assad,
absurd.
answer the question. Would it be okay or
It's
not?
an absurd and ridiculous question. How can we say
It-
that
Would
it is
it be
both
okay
ways.
or not? Would it be okay or not?
It would be totally wrong.
Okay, so why is it okay to take the consciousness of an animal when it's not okay to take the consciousness of a baby?
But the question over here is that you are making your premise and you're all
Why? Tell me,
you
give
will
me the difference that makes it okay to
No,
take
no, no,
away.
no, that's
Well,
not
Give
the
me
perfect
the
thing.
difference that makes it.
because we gave a human importance to animals
So
on animals.
arbitrary
We
shit.
don't eat babies.
No,
We
it is
So just-
you who are saying
We eat
we
So
need to
give
abandon
importance
animals.
to humans as well. So just do that. Just tell to give the importance to animals as well. Just
Okay,
say,
okay, let's carry on.
animals
Let's
are
get-
morally important, and therefore it's not okay to slaughter them.
Okay, let's carry out this conversation and let's say
Assad.
don't eat plants because they are also
Assad.
alive. Why are you eating plants?
Give us the difference between an animal and a
Why are you
baby
eating plants?
that makes it okay to take away the consciousness of an
No,
animal,
no.
but not okay to
First-
take
first
away
answer
the
my
consciousness of a
question.
human.
First answer my
It-
question. Why are
Difference
we
is-
eating plants?
No,
Stop eating plants
my
because they are
question was
also alive.
first. Please answer my question.
But
Yeah, it is because
Please
humans are
answer my
more
question.
important and valuable to
Just
us
ask your
than
question.
animals. So it is simple.
Wait.
Can you-
So you say that it's because humans are more important to us and animals are less important to us. That's what you say, Prism
Yes,
7. Assad, do you also agree with that statement?
yes, I totally agree with it.
Okay,
Awesome.
so let me put it this way then, because this baby or this human being that I asked the question about, it's not that they're not important to me. I fucking hate that. I fucking hate that human being or that individual. I dislike them so much. They're so annoying. So not that that I don't care about them. I literally dislike them. I would rather they didn't exist. Does that mean that if I give them sedatives, as you said, pills, so I take away their consciousness, that it is fair for me to slaughter them?
Nah, babe, you are putting the
It
question
is
in the wrong
more than
way.
on a whole species level, not on individual level. So we gave more importance and a value to humans, and we deal with them on equal levels. But we do not deal with them with animals on equal levels. So why are you why
Okay.
are you forcing
Wait.
to abandon meat?
I can equalize
What is
also
your
for that.
motivation?
I can equalize also for that. So wait, before we move on, wait, I'll answer all your questions, but before we go there, okay. So I don't give, let's put it this way. Hypothetically, if I didn't care about humans, I just don't care about humans. Let's say I really don't like the human race. I don't give importance to the human race, as you say. Does that mean that if I give sedatives to these individuals and then I kill them, I would be acting fairly?
So
No.
let's answer you this.
We
this
are
question
saying
first.
we are talking about one species to another, not on individual level.
Hello.
So I am saying that why are you forcing to abandon meat, and what is your motivation to abandon meat?
So
Yeah,
wait,
Prism,
you did
so here's
you
the
did not
thing.
answer my question, by the way. So you keep
I'll
saying
answer it.
you're
I'll-
talking
I'll
about
answer it.
species to species. I'm talking about
Mr.
my
Chip.
choices, right? I don't
Mr. Chip.
justify my choices based on what other members of my species are
Let me
doing.
speak.
I justify my choices based on
So-
what I'm doing. So my choice, because I disrespect humans, I disrespect that individual. Does that mean I'm allowed to do whatever I want
Mr.
to that
Chip,
individual?
Let me answer.
So-
Let me answer.
It is 1 minute. It is the same side of both side of same coin. You are saying that I can decide my morality on basis of my desire. So other human can also do the same. Like he can then decide whatever he want. Like you cannot question him. On what base you can question him then?
I'm asking
Your
you a
action caused
question.
like death of another animal.
I'm just like, I'm asking
Hello.
you a question because based on your logic, I am well within your logic. So based on your logic, if I dislike the human race, if I dislike that individual,
Okay.
then I would be acting fairly in me sedating a human being and killing them.
Let's answer your question.
Yeah,
You
when you
understand-
refuse answering his questions, why? Why
No,
should
no,
we
I'm
answer your
answering,
question
I'm
when you
answering.
refuse?
I'm answering.
Go on.
See, the case that you are making over here is the case of morality. Why do we do the things that are right, and why don't we do the things that are wrong? It totally depends upon the concept of morality. Killing a baby is morally wrong because it's a human being, and it's the intuition within us that tells us that this thing is wrong. But not killing an animal that is, I won't say it's necessary for humans to survive on animals, but I also say that it's not necessary for animals to survive only on plants.
Okay, well,
Are you getting
I
my
can
point?
also, wait.
Both are living things.
I want to test before we go, because you said two things. Before we go down to the second thing, I want to continue testing this aspect. So you said it's wrong because they're born human being. Well,
Yep.
let me tell you, this person is half human being. The other half is born out of,
Brother,
Homo erectus is born out of a different species of hominoids. They're not human. They're just a different species of hominoids.
It isn't a practical question.
It doesn't matter. It's a hypothetical. Hypothetically, if this person existed, would it be fair for me to exploit and slaughter them?
No,
that's an
based on
absolute-
our morality, it would be not correct.
Okay, so I'm
Because
trying to
that's not-
understand.
It would be given.
I'm trying to understand
So
your
why your
morality.
morality
Why
says-
would it be wrong?
let's
Why would
make
it be
things
wrong to
simple.
kill this
Let's-
person?
Okay, brother, let's make things simple. Why do you eat a plant?
No. Let's finish with this
We're
and
not
then I'll
going-
go down
Why
that.
you-
So
why-
why is it wrong to kill this individual knowing that they're not
Because
human?
it's morality.
You said
Morality isn't dependent upon consciousness or logicness.
No.
Morality don't
You
Morality
said-
is independent of logic.
you
Jesus
said
Christ.
you said that according
You
to your
think
own moral
morality-
values. So listen, you said according to your own moral values, if this individual is not human, then you can kill them. So this individual is not human. They're
Brother,
born
he's half human. I
out
won't
of
kill him
two
because
hominoids,
he's
but
half
they're
human.
not human. So I'm asking you, if they're not human, would it be okay or fair for me to kill them according to your own values?
Let me answer. You said that the creature was half human and half animal.
Yeah.
Was that the question? I
Yes.
won't kill him because it's half human.
Okay, what if they're not half human at all? They're coming from a hominoid. They look like a human, they behave like a human, but they are not human.
Do they have the consciousness of human beings? Do they think like humans? Do they have sentiments like human? Do
Yeah.
they have emotions like human?
Let's say they
I
do,
won't
yeah.
kill them. If it has emotions and feelings like
Okay.
human, I won't kill them.
So wait. Then do you think that animals don't have
Animals
emotions
doesn't
like
have
humans?
consciousness, bro. No. Don't say it like
say-
that. They can't think about themselves. They
Jesus
can't.
Christ.
If they were able to think just like humans,
We
if they
s-
had
yes.
sentiments just like humans, they would be quite far better than us.
So what
Oh,
would
They
so there
are
are
less
convince you?
some
conscious.
So hold on. So
You
there are
can
some
say
Hold
they
on.
are less conscious.
Yeah, Prism Acid. So there are some humans that don't have this amazing human consciousness that you are talking about. They can't wipe their ass. They have to be taken care of their entire lives. Is it okay to kill them for burgers?
Are they humans or not?
Well,
Simple question,
according to
simple.
you, what
Are
makes a
they-
human is a human
are-
consciousness, right?
Yeah.
According
I
to
don't
Acid.
say what makes human is just their consciousness. I said it's a part of human being.
Okay.
No. I equalized it and I said this person is not a human being.
No,
And you
they have
ask me,
chromosomes.
do
They
they
have
have
human
a
chromosomes.
human
They have-
consciousness? And I
Yeah.
said, and as VPM, so well put it,
You are
like,
making
what
things
if they
really
don't have all
complicated.
those features? Would it be
Acid,
okay for us
Acid,
to kill them?
Acid, start listening, not only talking. Start listening as well, please.
Wow.
I'm listening really carefully, and your
Well,
questions
then why are
really
you
accurate.
talking while Chip is still talking?
Asad, do not interrupt while conversation, bro. Listen, then speak.
Okay.
So I'll ask you
Speak.
again. So we're trying to understand your values, okay? So according to your values, we went from it's wrong to do it to them because they're humans, and we tried, we variated, and we realized that even if they're not human, if they have human consciousness, then it's okay. And what VPM is doing is going even further. Well, what if they only have partial human consciousness, let's say, right? I'm just going to call it partial. It's not necessarily a good term, but let's say they do not have autonomy. They cannot decide for themselves because they're maybe cognitively impaired or something like that, but they do still feel, have emotions. They still have a subjective experience of the world. Would that mean that would I be fair if I wanted to kill and if I wanted to exploit and slaughter them?
If
I can
if
get
they
very
are not not in your diet, and you are killing them for your amusement, then it's wrong in our morality.
No.
So
I would be
the
killing them for
animals.
food. I would be killing them for food. So I would be
So
essentially
if
killing them to eat them. I could eat
okay,
something else, of course. I could always eat something else, but I am choosing to kill and eat them. Would that be fair?
okay, if your diet and they are a part of your diet, then you can kill them.
Well,
But
they are part of
if
my
they are
diet
not the
because
part,
I choose to be part of my diet. Just like I can choose for humans to be part of my diet. It's not the fact that
no,
you
no,
calling it's part of my diet means nothing. If I choose to kill and eat somebody, then that somebody is part of my diet. That's it. That's a
no,
simple
no.
logical statement.
You can artificially manage your diet, not you can essentially create your own diet. Like you have to choose between options, and it is
No, you
depends on your
don't.
biology, not depends on your you cannot eat other things which is not suitable to you.
So if I can digest, if I can kill and eat somebody and digest them, then they can essentially be part of my diet. And regardless if I can digest them even fully, maybe I can only digest 1% of them. If I choose to eat them and digest that 1% of them, then they are part of my diet. So now I'll ask you again, if I choose to do that to an individual who is not human, looks exactly like a human being, behaves like a human being, but is also cognitively impaired, so therefore cannot make choices on their own. They do still have emotions, they
So
do still have a subjective experience of the world. So if I choose to do that to one individual like that, would I be acting fairly towards that individual when I choose that, when I make that choice?
it would be pretty fair.
if you are using them as a food, then
Yeah.
it's good. Like monkey is very near to in shape or in for us. But if they are part of your diet, then it would be morally correct.
Okay,
And
wait.
Sorry,
where
did you
where
just say that it's okay to eat mentally challenged humans?
Wow.
oh he's no
Yeah,
no he's
yeah.
he is from human species, so you cannot say that. So I am saying
You
now
literally just said that.
my question is that
Do you
where
not
are you
understand that that's what you just said? Do you not understand that?
where
Yeah,
are you
Prism.
taking from your morality to say that we
Prism.
should abandon the animals? Where are you taking your morality from?
Before we go down,
Like
I'm still not done with this because I still don't
you,
understand
you seem
completely
very
what you're saying.
motivated.
No, I still don't understand completely what you're saying, right? Because logically, we went step by step from a human being and got
Sorry,
to a
John.
hominoid that behaves like a human being but is intellectually challenged. And you said that's okay to exploit and kill them as long as you eat them. So now I'm going to go back. Okay, well, what if this individual is not intellectually challenged? They are still a hominoid, but they're not intellectually challenged. Would it be okay to exploit and slaughter them for food, for optional food, just like it was in the other situation?
It would be totally okay.
It would be totally okay.
If
Okay.
Yeah,
if
for
they
me,
can
Okay.
interact
totally
with
okay.
us, and
So
we can we can lay down the values, then
so
it would not
Bro,
be
you
okay.
don't
And
understand morality, bro.
so wait.
If
So
it's
if you
not
can
you,
if
okay.
you can interact with them, in what way? So if you can communicate with them, or what exactly do you need to communicate with them? If you tell them move over there and they move over there, is that a good enough communication skill, or do you need to be able to communicate complex moral topics to them? What exactly is that?
Later on.
it would be both ways. If they can understand and they can integrate in our social fabric, and like they can build connection with us, then it would be considered another advanced civilization or like species which is equal to human being, and they are not part of our diet.
Wait,
And
no, but they
animals
wouldn't be. They
is
wouldn't
not.
be in any way. They wouldn't be in any way. Let me rephrase it before we move, because you keep wanting to move to animals. We'll move to animals. Don't worry about it. But I really want to
So
continue on this because I really
no,
want to
no,
understand it.
we are
So you say
basically
that if
talking
they're,
about animals.
but you say if they're
We are
hominoid.
basically.
Well, all humans
Yes,
are also
yes.
animals, by the way, right? So there's no point in even discussing all of this. But like, if they're hominoids, you say that if they're hominoids, they're just as intelligent as human. You can communicate with them, then it's wrong. Okay, but let me ask you this: what if they're hominoids? They're still intelligent like humans. They can still do whatever humans can do, but you can't communicate with them because they don't communicate over sound. They communicate maybe over, I don't know, radio waves or something that we cannot possibly intercept. Would that mean it's okay to exploit and slaughter them?
If we can build some relationship between both species, then it would not be okay.
What kind of a
So it
relationship?
is your
Like,
answer.
do you only mean romantic relationship, or do you
So
mean like also like friendship?
no, no, not romantic one, but I'm saying the relationship between two species. And why are you like building like
No, 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 no,
you are
no.
talking like
You don't
you
get
are
to ask
building
questions yet. You don't
another
get to ask
species?
questions yet, Prism.
No, no, you like you asked enough questions. Like you should like
You answered them
give
terribly,
space
by
us.
the way. You
Okay, so
left a lot to be imagined.
yeah, as far as I understood, by the way, according to your own morality, which seems extremely random to me, like it's just extremely random. Only if your species can interbreed with that species, then you give members of that species moral consideration, correct?
No, no, interbreed. I didn't use that word. I'm saying that uh, the relationship which can build the what we say. My English is like weak.
Understand.
Uh, we can build values between them, and like respect for both,
Okay, okay.
and
Well, let
like
me.
these types of questions.
Okay, and now let me tell you this. Like, did you know that you can teach dogs about what is good and what is bad? So that means you can effectively teach values to your pet companion.
Yes, you can teach
Well,
on
you
their
cannot
conscious
control.
level. It's like teaching uh, on
You
their
can
conscious
train
level.
them.
Like
You cannot teach
they
them.
cannot understand you. They cannot understand you,
So
and
so
you
wait, so
also
wait. You
cannot
can
understand them.
wait. That's not true because that's how communication work. They do understand you. They cannot understand you completely, but so cannot other people, right? Yet you still communicate. So you can communicate a message. You can teach them what is right and wrong. You can communicate with them and you can have a relationship with them, right? So in that sense, a dog matches everything that you just said. So me choosing to exploit and slaughter a dog for optional food should be wrong according to your own values and your own logic that you just described.
No, no. We see them as animals, and
No,
we do not exploit them for amusement, and we use them as a food. And
no, no,
my
nope,
question is that
nope,
why?
nope, nope, nope. You
So you
lack
can.
complete logic. You lack logic even from the start. I completely
Can
asked
you?
you. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it again, right? I'm
Actually,
completely. I'm a
actually,
new
you
person
are
to all
not
of this,
using.
right? I don't
You are
know.
not
I
using.
don't know what is right and wrong, and you need to teach me what is right or wrong according to your own
It's a
values.
kind.
And you say,
So
We
well, if you keep bringing up all these things, and with your things, I keep asking questions because I need to understand what is right or wrong according to your own values. You have to teach me. And at this point in time, what you have taught
doesn't
me
have to.
is I have reached the conclusion that you should be respecting dogs just as much as you should be respecting humans, because according to how you give value to these individuals, you should be giving values also to these individuals. And now you say no, because these individuals are part of a category that somebody at some point in my time said they're deemed as inferior, therefore I do not give them moral consideration. So it's strictly this arbitrary line that somebody taught you once in your life that you shouldn't be respecting, and that makes sense. Does that make sense to you? Because somebody taught you societally to not respect animals, that means you should not respect animals, and you would be acting morally, or you would be doing the right thing in not respecting animals just because society told you to do so?
Actually, you are going against the basic broader level narrative and morality of humans, and you should you should describe why are you like against eating meat, and why are you so
I'm not against
motivated to
eating meat.
abundant meat.
I'm not against eating
Okay,
meat. I'm
so
against the
so
needless exploitation and slaughter of sentient beings. Do you know what that means?
so we are
Do
also
you know
against
what that means?
that, but
Do you know what
we
needless
can
exploitation of sentient beings means?
we can hold the position for eating meat. We say that this is not an exploitation, and you should describe why this is exploitation to you
So
for
Do
your
you
can I
know?
morality.
interject? Can I interject, Chip, for 1 second? Let me just
Please.
finish this really
So
fast.
so
So
ridiculous.
yeah, no problem. So Prism, hypothetically, there are two worlds and you can choose only one. In one world, we exploit and slaughter animals. In the other world, we don't exploit and slaughter animals. But other than that, those worlds are identical. Which world do you think is more moral?
It depends morality you have.
I'm asking you about your morality. So one world, we exploit and slaughter animals. In the other world, we don't exploit and slaughter animals. Which one is more moral according to your morality?
If our morality is built on the world which has animals,
I'm
then
asking you
it would be
about
correct.
your morality. Please answer
Yes,
the
yes.
question.
We are saying that our morality built where there is animals, and if the world where there is no animals we
Which
use,
world is
then
more moral?
for our morality, like I'm saying that our morality is built on
Which
this
world
world
is more
hypothesis.
moral? Please answer the question. Is it the
It
one
dep-
where we exploit and slaughter animals, or the one where we don't exploit and slaughter animals?
it depends on your morality condition.
I'm asking
Like
you your morality. Use your fucking morality and answer the question.
I'm saying that I cannot use my morality on other world. For this, there is no morality for us right now.
I'm
Like
asking a
you
hypothetical.
built.
Can you answer the hypothetical? There are
So
two possible worlds that are identical. In
yeah,
one, we exploit and slaughter animals. In the other, we don't.
yeah,
There is a
there would
difference
be.
between those two worlds, right? There is a
Yeah,
difference.
okay. If we have more than world war, then there could be more than one morality on both worlds. So for
Use
their
your
people,
morality. You have, like use your imagination as well. Let's say you have a choice. Which world is more moral according to your morality? Is it the one where
oh,
we exploit and slaughter animals, or is it the one that we don't?
according to our morality, if you use this morality, then both world is morally
Wow.
correct.
Okay. Well, I think we're done. I think we're done.
Yeah, I also
I'm
feel.
done.
Yes,
I think
and
you.
you
I think you lack
Well,
and
logical structure in your
no,
moral
no,
values of
you lack
choice,
actually.
and I think you
You
should
didn't
be
explain.
the reason why it's important to have logical structure in your morality is because when you draw arbitrary lines or when you just go by what somebody has taught you, you can reach places that are inherently wrong even to human beings. That's how we reached
Actually,
in the worst.
you
That's how we did the worst
act-
atrocities that we did as humans.
actually you are drawing the arbitrary lines, not us. Like
No,
you
no,
you are
no.
drawing
Listen,
for your
it's
emotions.
not arbitrary because we explained our position. We explained why we choose world B, where we don't exploit and slaughter
So
animals.
you choose
Is
you choose
because
lion for you.
it's because as animals have moral consideration. Animals are sentient. They have experience. Taking that experience away from them is more immoral than not taking that experience away from them. So when you have the choice between a world where we exploit and kill animals and where we don't exploit and kill animals, even the most brain dead person would say, yes, the world where we don't exploit animals is preferable because they understand that animals have some, even the minuscule moral worth to say that those worlds are not both moral in the same way.
Post, can I make a comment?
So
Prism, I have a comment for you, just real quick, because I think we can get this done real quick. You ready, Prism?
yes,
I beat my dog because the gym costs is a little bit too expensive. Do you think it's wrong for me to beat my dog for convenience?
Oh, no, you can't beat your dog. It's morally
No,
wrong for us.
Wait. I'm asking you, do you think it's wrong for me to beat my dog?
Yes.
But I do it out of convenience.
What do you mean?
I don't have to go to the gym. It's much more easier for me to pick up my dog by its back legs, strap it against the wall, and beat him a few times. It's much more cheaper.
No, it would be morally incorrect for if we consider using our morality,
Wait, I'm asking you. I don't give a fuck about anyone else. I'm just asking you. Beating my dog
so
for convenience is okay.
because there are more ways of morality, like different moralities exist. So for us it would be wrong.
Prison, what was the last thing I asked you?
What is it?
What was the last question I asked you?
You said can you beat your dog for convenience?
Oh, there was a little bit more to it, right? Do you remember the exact question, or were you like not listening to me?
Well, I'm listening to you. You can
Yeah.
explain more details if you want.
Yeah, so did you listen to my last question? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, what was my last question?
Your question was it would be morally correct to beat dog for my convenience.
That wasn't my question. My question was, what do you think, right? I want you to keep tracking. Like, there is this thing called listening to other people. When we do that, we actually get to learn a lot from another person. So I asked you specifically, what do you think about what I do? Like, I'm going to ask you right now, like, what do you think about me beating my dog out of convenience?
It would be incorrect for me
Okay, why?
because my morality says so.
Okay, but my morality says it's better for me to beat my dog because it's cheaper. So it makes logical sense for me to beat my dog so I don't have to spend money to go to the gym. So
Yeah,
I'm
if you Mhm. Yes, for if your morality says, then you would consider it morally correct, but I would consider it morally wrong.
Okay, so who's in the right?
Do you understand?
Well, who do you think? So who do you think should hold this position? Or what do you think is more preferable? Which action is more preferable?
It depends on morality.
Okay.
According
So-
to your morality. Sorry, but like you keep saying it depends, but we're testing your morality. So according to your morality, which one is preferable?
I'm saying that for my morality, it is wrong to beat.
Why?
But wait, what if when after beating the dog, you cut them up and put their flesh in your mouth?
Yeah, if you are like using it as a food and you are beating it unnecessarily, then the action of beating it would be wrong, but eating is not.
Prism. So I want to understand this so I can like beat my dog a little bit better. So if I take a baseball bat, hit the dog upside down in the head really hard so it dies, and then I punch it a few times to make the meat a little bit better and hit the dog. Would you say that's okay?
Yeah. Okay. 1 minute. So
Wait.
what I was like busy. Can you explain again?
So if you said if you eat the dog, then it's okay. So I want to find the middle ground, right? So I want to still beat my dog and then eat it after, right? So would you say it would be better if you had a baseball bat, hit the dog really hard in the head so it dies, then I beat the dog, maybe to make the meat a little bit better, and then cook the dog? Would you say that's better?
Yeah, if you beat like it
I
for
knocked out.
amusement, then it would be wrong. Like
I
if you
kill the
i-
dog
i-
with a baseball bat and then I punch it. Would you say that's better, or should I like leave the
it,
dog?
it would be same like preying animal by a gunshot.
Wait, which one is better, hitting the dog with a baseball bat or not hitting it?
Sorry.
Which action is better, hitting the dog in the head with a baseball bat or not hitting the dog?
It depends why are you hitting. If you're hitting to kill it and eat it, then it would be considered correct for most of people. But uh, if you are beating it out of amusement to prior to eat it, then
I-
it would not be considered correct.
Wait. So what if I don't swallow? I just put the dog's flesh in my mouth, I chew it around, and then I spit it out. Is that moral to kill the dog for that?
Then you are not using it as a food.
So is it moral for me to do that?
No.
No. So
Fuck.
so wait. Only and only if I swallow this flesh, it becomes moral.
Yes. If you're using it
What
as
if
a
I
food,
puke afterwards?
what if?
I puke. I put a finger through my throat and I puke afterwards. Is it moral then?
I'm saying that if you're using it as a food, can you understand that?
Okay,
Then
but
it
like,
would be morally correct.
so I'm trying to
yeah,
understand.
but
So based on what you're saying is that as long as you get nutrition from it, you can do whatever you want to an animal. Okay, that's what you're saying, correct?
You can use it as a food, not like exploit it unnecessarily.
No. We
Or
defined
for
it
amusement.
clearly. We are going to beat them up. We are going to get our pump on by doing that. And in the end,
Chip.
we are going to put their flesh in our mouth. Is that
Chip.
moral?
Chip, you said if you knock out the dog with a baseball bat first, so it's
I'm
dead.
saying that if you are beating it for amusement, then it would be incorrect. And if you are like eating it as a food, then it will be correct.
But Chip, the only reason why Chip is beating the dog is to tenderize the meat.
Okay, you can beat it after killing it. Sorry, I have to go somewhere. Like I would join you later.
What
What do
the
you think?
fuck? What's
Yeah.
going on with
Yeah,
this
this was
Like I am on the bike right now, so give me a like
What
This-
the fuck is
10 to
going
15 minutes.
this was some really
Oh,
really
actually it's
really
all
bad
depends
luck.
on your morality. It
Yeah.
all depends on your morality.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but
you
your
have to see what
morality. Your
what
morality
morality you are
says
using
your
and
morality.
what morality I am using.
Your morality.
So-
We haven't even discussed our morality. We only discussed yours. And according to your morality, you can kill you can do almost whatever. Well, you say you can kill an animal, and as long as you digest everything from them, it is moral. But the minute you don't digest everything from them, or the minute you spit them out or something, it is no longer moral.
No.
So it's so ridiculous of
it
an
is
argument
like on
because
principle
you
base.
completely disregard the individuality that animal has had. You are saying that
If
if
you are
I can
using
use
it as
them,
a food,
well, what is the difference between using them as a food or using them as a punching bag? It's still an object that you can choose otherwise. You don't need to eat them. You don't need to punch
So
them.
I would
You
join you
can eat
later,
something
okay.
else and you can punch something else. Yeah. Okay, he quit. Anybody else wants to join this ridiculous conversation?
I'm also
So
gonna be.
why eating a plant is right and eating an animal is wrong?
Because of sentience. Do you know what sentience is?
Now, let's carry our previous conversation in the same manner. If it's about sentient, What if we take this sentiment out of that animal?
You cannot take sentience out of somebody. The act of taking
That does
sentience
not.
out of somebody is immoral.
Okay. You are saying that taking sentiment out of any animal is immoral.
Yes,
How?
taking sentience out of any sentient individual is essentially
Mm-hmm.
disregarding their individuality, and thus you are essentially saying, like you are essentially like we recognize that when you kill somebody, you are taking their sentience away, are you not? It's not about them having sentience at the moment that you're putting their flesh in your mouth. It's about them having sentience when you want to do
Brothers,
something horrific to them.
the
Chip,
previous
they
guy,
may
whenever
probably not know what sentience is, by the way.
Do you know what sentience is, Assad?
what the hell are you saying?
Do you know what sentience means?
Obviously, I know I'm not that much illiterate.
So I think it was put in the chat, and I'll explain it to you. It means the capacity to have a subjective experience. It means
You
just
don't
like
have to
how
explain me.
you said you
I
don't
already
know.
know what it is. What the hell? I didn't say at all.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Listen, there's nothing wrong with not knowing stuff. There's plenty of stuff that I also don't know. Okay, in fact, we appreciate when people say that they don't know. But let's move on. Okay, so you know what sentience is. So do you think that if you know what sentience is, do you think it's fair to take away the sentience out of somebody against their consent?
Let's put the thing in the right way. We eat animals because we take them as food. We
No.
also eat plants because we need them as nutrients.
You're
What
going to
we
have to
is
answer
that
my question. If
what's your
is it moral for you to take away the sentience without their consent from somebody?
say? The answer is simple. If your intention is that you don't want to hurt that animal, let's say that I want to slaughter a goat or I want to slaughter a cow, it will get hurt in that process. If I don't want it to suffer, then I will simply take out its consciousness, brain, sentience out of it, and after that, I can simply kill it because it won't get hurt.
By the way, can you adjust your microphone or something? You're really
So,
roboting right now.
sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just you're very robotic. You get like this thing going on.
I'm really sorry. I was just saying that what I was talking about. We take the sentience out of any animal just to make sure that they won't get hurt because
But
of
that's
their
the thing.
sentience.
You're not
Mm,
taking away the sentience. You call it that way, but what you're doing is that because sentience is not about them feeling pain. Sentience is about them having a subjective experience of the world. And you, when you are taking that away from them, you are crapping on them. It's like saying, well, it's okay if I shoot somebody from the back and they die instantly, then it's moral for me to do that to them. Because essentially they wouldn't know what's happening to them. Is that really moral?
See, when you just compare animals with humans, it isn't correct because our morality is based upon this world, this physical world in which we are living. And in this physical world, the morality is really simple. You can't kill an human.
Okay, let's put it this way. I'll draw a hypothetical out there that will disregard all of this, okay? We
Don't
all
talk about
live
that
in a
thing, it's
simulation. Let's
hypothetical.
imagine that we all live in a simulation. But when you die in the simulation, you also die in real life, okay? So
Okay.
let's imagine that in this simulation that we are living, well, not the one that we're living right now, because right now we're not really living in a simulation. So let's imagine that we would be living in a simulation, and everybody who lives, every sentient being that lives in this simulation looks exactly the same as every other sentient being on that planet. In other words, you wouldn't know if a sentient being is human, or you wouldn't know if they're not human. You would just know that they're a sentient being or not. So, in that regards, living in that world, how could you be acting morally? Would it be moral for you to be slaughtering individuals, not even knowing if they're human or not? You would just be knowing that they're
So,
sentient.
so the question over here is that if I want to take any life in that simulation, if I want to take the life of any person in that simulation, what would be the cause and what would be the reason of taking that life? Why
No,
is
no,
that
no. My question is,
individual
when does
taking
taking a life for optional products become, when does taking a sentient life for optional products
Mm-mm.
become moral to you?
See, we eat animals because of two things. First is the nutrition, and the other is taste. Take these things out of animal, then we don't need to take the life of any animal.
So it's the animal's fault. Take these things out of the animal. Oh, it's your fault for tasting good.
Nah,
It's your
bro, bro,
fault
bro,
for having
bro.
sentience. I don't want to kill you as a sentient being. It's your fault for being
No,
born with
you're
sentience.
putting things really bad. You are putting things really bad. I'm just saying that the reasons that human eat these things are just because of these two things. And if you think there is anything wrong in these two reasons, you can justify it.
I mean, obviously it's wrong because first of all, nutrition you can get from eating plants. First of all, right?
Okay, but
You don't need
eating
to
plants, they are
be
also
doing
they are
something
all
horrific to an animal to get nutrition from their flesh. Number one, and number two, you can also get taste from plants. In fact, a lot of the times, the taste that you get from animal products is actually mostly taste coming from plants because you add spices and minerals to them. So those are actually plants and minerals. They're not necessarily sentient beings.
don't take me as rude, but the last part of your answer was really ridiculous. How can you say that a plant and an animal meat can taste the same? It's
I did not
totally
say that they
absurd
taste
what
the
you are
same.
talking about.
I did not say that they taste the same. Did I
They
say that they
don't
taste the
even
same?
taste similar, bro. They
I did
don't
not
even
even
taste
I
similar.
did not even compare the taste of one to another. I just said you can get
Then
excellent taste from consuming animal products, and in fact, a lot of the taste that you do get from animal products, you
what
get
if
it from the
like
spices and the minerals that you add on those animal products. And like let's take it one step at a time. So nutrition. Let's take it first with nutrition. Do you agree that you can get nutrition from plants and plant-based products?
yes, I totally agree.
Okay, so then it's solely taste. Now, do you think that taste is a sensory pleasure or is taste something else?
It's sensory pleasure. There is nothing wrong in getting pleasure, whether you get
Okay,
it from an animal or from a plant.
so according to your
That
own
won't make.
values, then it would be moral for me to kill an animal, chew their flesh, and then
Mm-hmm.
spit it out, correct? Because I get the taste pleasure from it.
Yeah, there isn't anything wrong in it.
So there's nothing wrong with you. Okay, well, you're different from the other person, I guess. So you think it's okay as long as you put their flesh in your mouth and you feel that taste pleasure, it's all okay, right?
Yeah, it's okay for me.
Okay, so what if this individual who's doing this has had the COVID or something and they lost their taste pleasure, so they don't feel the taste of
Mm-hmm.
flesh anymore? Would then they be acting immorally?
They would be taking it as a nutrient.
No, because they spit it out, as I said. They wouldn't be taking the nutrients.
I don't think it's morally wrong.
So wait a
It's his
minute.
own choice.
So
He
all of
is
the sudden, it's no longer about
superior,
taste
and
anymore.
yeah, it doesn't. It really doesn't depend upon it whether it's taste or not. We are humans. We can do whatever we want.
Oh, okay. So now we reach to the point of contention. So you're saying we are humans, we have power over
Mm-hmm.
animals, and that gives us the
Yeah,
right to do whatever we want to
yeah,
them.
yeah. It's really simple.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is that just because we have power over somebody, that gives us the right to
We
exploit
don't
and
have power.
abuse
We
them.
are humans. Yes, 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 yes,
Assad,
yes.
Assad, if I have a dog,
Wow.
should I have my dog?
If you have a dog, carry on.
Wait, Assad,
This
if I
this mindset is the reason why we have the wars.
wait,
Sorry, I
Assad,
can't hear you.
Assad, if I have a dog, can I have sex with my
Yes.
dog to become more powerful?
Good
See,
question.
if you are having sex with an animal, why
Yeah.
would it be correct?
This is it though. Like, it's one minute we're just eating, the next minute it's like, oh yeah, it's bestiality.
Marco, can you shush for a second? You said we can do whatever we want to animals. Does this also include sexual actions?
Let's see. The case was simple. We were taking animals because
Oh
of the
no,
nutrition and the taste. So
Assad,
in your scenario, you are just taking it for sexual pleasures, and I don't
Assad,
think so. It's right.
Assad,
You can take that thing from
Assad,
yeah.
Assad. You said if I get pleasure, it's okay. Would you agree in all circumstances?
Things are really messy over here. You are just saying that you want to have sex with an animal. What
Did
the
you
hell?
did you hear what I said?
Yeah. So I can
Yes, I
explain
really
to
heard
you
what you said.
how your logic reached exactly that point about sexual intercourse with an animal. And you know how it reached that? Because I asked you simply that what justifies killing a sentient being? And you said taste and nutrition. We eliminated
Yeah.
nutrition by saying we kill them, we take their flesh, put them in our mouth and spit it out, so it's only taste, and you said it's still moral. And then we eliminated taste by saying this individual has some form of medical issue that cannot taste food. And yet if that individual kills a sentient being, puts their flesh in their mouth and spits it out, you still said it's okay. It's still moral, even though you don't get taste
1 minute,
or
1 minute.
nutrition from
Sorry.
it.
I wasn't following this part. You said that man didn't eat it. He spit it out. He puked.
He spit it out, yes. So the human being is
So
killing a sentient being, taking their flesh, rumbling it around in their mouth, and then spitting it out. Is that moral?
he's spitting it out. He isn't using it.
He
So
is
that would
using
be
it. He's
totally
putting
wrong
it in his
because
mouth. He's getting taste pleasure from it. He's spitting it out.
if he is getting the pleasure, if he is getting the taste pleasure, then I think it's right.
But if he doesn't have any taste buds or something is wrong with his taste buds, then it is wrong.
Yeah, because he has no intention, no reason, no solid reason for using that thing. He is just fixing it. That would be wrong.
Okay, so what you're saying is that a sensory pleasure can justify killing a sentient being, correct?
Now I get where you are taking it. All pleasures are not correct.
I'm asking you, do you agree that you just reached the
If you
logical
are talking about
conclusion that killing a
if you are
sentient
talking
being for sensory pleasure is moral to you?
if you are talking about taste, then I agree with you. If you are talking about sexual pleasures, I
Okay.
totally don't agree with that because it's a really different topic. If we talk about those kind of pleasures, it would be totally a different
Okay,
topic.
wait. We're getting there. So, somehow in your mind, the sensory pleasure that relates to taste is different than the sensory pleasure that relates to sexual pleasure. So let me ask you this: what
No,
if this
that's
individual,
what
does not get taste pleasure, or every time they get taste pleasure, they also get sexual pleasure from it? There's people who have that issue. So when they chew the food, is it fair? Is it moral for them to kill a sentient being, chew their flesh, and spit it out?
the hell? I can't get your question.
I'm just trying to understand. Like I said, if this individual that chews their flesh and spits it out gets taste, but also gets sexual pleasure from that taste, just simply from tasting their flesh.
If he gets taste, then it's right.
Okay.
Wait. I have a question. What about Chip? Ask him about the dairy process and ask him if he's okay with it.
We can go down that. I just want to explore a little bit more, and then we can go down the dairy process. 1 second. So I'm like, so far we've established that if you get taste, it's okay. If you get taste and sex pleasure, it's okay. But if all of the sudden your taste buds are on like what?
Sorry, brother. Let me answer. The question over here is again about morality.
Yes.
Doing what was I gonna say? Abusing an animal sexually isn't right. It's because of our morality. Our morality says
Okay.
that
Let's go
human
down
can
that route. So abusing an animal sexually is not right. Okay. Do you think that animals in animal agriculture, do you think they are sexually exploited?
Yes, they are.
So then
Fuck,
sexual
what the fuck?
exploitation, so sexual exploitation in animal agriculture is wrong, right?
Yeah, it's totally wrong.
Okay, so then do you acknowledge that when you buy a product coming from animal agriculture, you are supporting something that you are saying is wrong, sexual exploitation?
Yes, I agree with it.
There you go. So then do you acknowledge that when you buy an animal product, you are acting immorally because you are supporting something that is immoral to you?
Let's see. Let's put it in this way. If I know that if I'm buying something that is causing harm to an animal, then buying it is wrong. whether it is a dairy product or maybe meat or anything. But if I really don't know what's happening to the animal, then it's right for me.
So wait a minute. If you know, you said you know that in animal agriculture, animal sexual exploitation is inherent in animal agriculture. You know that, right? You know that there is no animal agriculture without sexual exploitation. Do you understand that?
Just wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Yeah, please carry on.
So, do you acknowledge that in animal agriculture, sexual exploitation is inherent, and that means that it's prevalent. It happens no matter what.
I can't say anything about it. Maybe it happens, maybe not.
Happens, bro. That's why.
Be
That's why there is
intellectually, be intellectually honest with this one. Don't go around now going like, I don't know if it happens. Do you acknowledge that it happens? It happens more than it doesn't.
Let's take an example. You are in a countryside where there are cows and there is normal farming. What would be that case then?
Do you think those farms, on those farms, animal multiply when they want to, or do you think farmers control that process?
Obviously, farmer control them.
Is that not sexual exploitation? Controlling the breeding of somebody is not sexual exploitation?
They are not being
No.
sexually exploited by humans. They are being
Wait,
sexually
what does
exploited
sexual
by
exploitation mean to you?
For me, sexual exploitation is such kind of exploitation in which a human being who is sentient exploits another sentient human being.
So wait, you cannot have sexual exploitation done on animals because they have to be human with the description you just gave now?
Yeah.
So wait, before, like, Jesus Christ, man, you're like contradicting yourself constantly. You first said that sexual exploitation does happen in animal agriculture. Now you're saying sexual exploitation needs to be between two human beings. Like, I'm failing to understand what you're saying, and quite frankly, I'm kind of losing patience with you, and I don't think that I want to discuss more with you. So I'll ask you this one last time, and I expect you to be honest, otherwise I'm done talking to you. So I'll ask you this one last time. Do you think that you can sexually exploit an animal?
So let me answer. You have taken it really briefly and in a very short sense. See that when we talk about sexual exploitation, it's about humans. When we are talking, let me build my case. If a man is exploiting an animal for his own sexual pleasure, then it's wrong. It's not wrong because that the animal is getting hurt. It's because the social society in which he lives, he is promoting that fucking thing. And
No, but let's imagine this human being. Wait, what if this human being lives in a society that allows for sex with animals, as you say?
See that being intimate with animals is wrong because it will lead to no generation at all in the future.
Wait. So then, by that logic, sex with infertile humans should also be wrong.
Let me complete. If that person is sexually exploiting any animal, and if the society is getting motivated to sexually exploit all the animals, it will lead to a complete catastrophe and disaster. There will be no humans at all because they won't be getting intimate with their own sexual partner, which are humans. So
Wait. No, we're not getting away from this because now we reached another weird thing about you. So what you're saying is that sex between two consenting individuals, let's just put it this way, only makes sense if there's a resulting child to come out of it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, no, I'm done talking to you. I'm done. It's a ridiculous statement to begin with, but hey, if you believe that, then you should anyway give more moral consideration to animals, because you know what? We as humans do also have sex for pleasure. Some animals also do, like pigs, but you seem to think that sex is only a utility thing. You should only have sex for making babies. So, no, thank you.
Assad, last question. If I have sex with my dog and I can show you I can make babies, are you okay with that?
Oh, you are challenging the morale.
Assad, Remember what
Yeah.
what you disagreed on? If I can make a baby with my dog, you should be okay with it, right?
It's really difficult to answer this question because it's against morality.
No, bro is just running. It's fine.
It's just not worth it. It's just not worth the conversation. I'm honest. It's just a lot of mumbo jumbo nonsense. And Assad, I encourage you to actually try to get some logic within those morals, because otherwise you end up biting some of the weirdest bullets you've seen so far. And I'm pretty sure that there is also a language barrier there. But if there weren't a language barrier, I'm pretty sure that we can get you to say some really ridiculous shit because you lack moral consistency. So, just try to understand a little bit of your morals. Just look after them.
You can have
You'll
your
find
own
it interesting.
I don't disagree with that. You can have your own opinions. You can have your own morality. I'm totally okay with that.
Okay, let's move on. Is anybody here in agreement with the fact that being vegan is the only way to respect animals?
So, what do you think of my cooking, by the way?
What are you cooking?
TDP with tofu.
That looks pretty good.
I think eating meat is okay.
Okay,
I
here we go.
think there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, let's take away a little bit the eating part of it. Do you think killing animals is okay?
For food, yes. For pleasure or just like fun, no.
What about if it's for optional food?
Specific. Tell me, what do you mean by optional food? Like, what would you consider optional?
So let's imagine I have my meal, and then I look at my cat, and I'm like thinking, I wonder how they taste like. And I take a knife, I cut their throat, I see how they taste like. It is theoretically food. It is optional because I didn't need to do that, but I do it anyway. Would I be acting morally when I do that?
I think there's a certain level of just because I want to that it stops. Like, if you just go and do it because you think it's like funny or I wonder, I think that's not alright. But if it's for food or like, let's say, extra food, as in you need supplies for the next year or whatever, I think that's okay.
So what you're saying is that if it's for necessary food, it's okay. But if it's for optional food, it's not okay, correct?
Yeah, I'd say that, yeah.
Okay, so then if you find out that you can thrive, and that means survive and be as healthy as possible, like be at your very best on a plant-based diet, then wouldn't you say any animal product you consume is therefore optional?
I would say, but I don't believe that you can thrive in like 100% thrive in your environment without consuming any meat. I think there's a balanced diet that has to include meat also.
So let me ask you, what exactly would convince you that you can thrive on a plant-based diet? We have empirical evidence. I'm a certified nutritionist, but I need to know what would convince you so that I can, maybe provide you with that.
I tried to go vegan for about half a year, right? And whatever supplements or anything like that I tried, it never I never felt as extra energized as when like I am on a meat diet or a diet with meat, including it.
Sure, but that's anecdotal, right? You could have a bad plant-based diet and you could have a bad animal-based diet. Like you could have a diet that consists of animal products and still not provide you with everything that your body needs. It's not, so it doesn't really, just because you would be consuming some animal products doesn't inherently mean you would be getting everything that your body needs. You would still need to have a good diet overall. So maybe if you tried a plant-based diet, maybe you didn't try it the right way, maybe you didn't do it the right way. So my question to you is, is it only that you tried it once and you saw that you couldn't do it? Now, what would convince you going further after you've tried it already? Now, at your point right now in this time, what can convince you that you can thrive on a plant-based diet?
The proof that someone like makes me a diet or tells me a way to diet with just animals that would actually work, because at the time I was talking to a doctor, right, or a I can't spell.
Nutritionist. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And they made the plan for me, and it did not work. It just wasn't working out.
What was happening?
My energy levels were like on an all-time low. Even if I, let's say, were on a mid diet and haven't eaten for like a day, it would be worse if I was on a plant diet.
And what did the nutritionist say when you communicated that to them?
They said that it's probably because my body does not take the proteins of the plain diet well.
I don't think that's what they said.
They told me.
Are you
That's
sure
what they told me.
that they're not a very good
100%.
nutritionist? So I'll tell you right
Yeah,
here, right now,
maybe.
the reason why you were lacking energy is probably because you were actually lacking energy. You were probably not eating enough calories. A lot of the times when people switch to a plant-based diet, because plants have fiber and fiber makes you feel full faster, a lot of the times people end up eating less because they feel full faster. So if you only go by how you feel, then when you eat plant-based, especially after switching from an animal-based diet, you will definitely feel full faster, and you will almost certainly eat less.
What if we like look at it from another perspective? Why wouldn't you consume meat? Why would that not be okay?
Because, as we've established just now, you would be exploiting and slaughtering an innocent animal for something that you don't need.
Well, why would you say that Neanderthals like hunted animals? They were like the first. They had brains that were kind of developed, that understand. They started like languages, right? So why did they hunt animals? Why didn't they just say, "Oh well, no, we need plant-based diets. We can't hunt animals"?
Because they didn't have the options that we do. Nowadays, we don't live like how any of our ancestors or any other animals on this planet live. We live in these artificially constructed buildings that shield us from any kind of bad weather. We go outside, we usually put our bodies in an artificially constructed machine that can drive us at speeds we as individuals can never go at. And then we go to a place that is yet again artificially constructed, that has all the food that we want neatly placed on shelves, and we just get to make choices based on what we want to eat. So yes, we are in a position where we just choose what we want. No other, like what we as humans have right now, no humans have had throughout our history. You understand that, right?
Yeah, let's say yes.
Yeah,
I get that.
So we, right now, maybe in the past we weren't in that position, but right now we are in a position where we don't need to kill or hunt or exploit any animal. We can do it without them. And knowing that it is bad for them, and also knowing that it is bad for us, because it is also bad for us as a society, us towards the planet, is just bad. Animal agriculture is just bad altogether. Knowing that it is bad for them and for us, why wouldn't you choose to stop?
Let me ask you a question for your question. In what way is it bad for the planet for us to consume meat?
Sure, there's plenty of evidence out there that when it comes to environmental concerns, a plant-based diet is monumentally better than an animal-based diet. And that solely refers to, like, no matter how you spin it, it always refers to the fact that these animals that we grow for food, we have to feed them also. And most of the time, we feed them things that we could have otherwise eaten ourselves. And even if we don't feed them things that we could have eaten ourselves, we use that land to grow food for them, whereas we could have used that land to grow food for us. So regardless, we end up in a situation where we're highly inefficient. So therefore, our planet suffers in the process, obviously. We use more land, more water, we move more animals on this planet. We destroy the ecosystems strictly to support animal agriculture.
I wouldn't say that. Yes, maybe at a big scale that might happen, but for us, like I live on a farm and we make or provide food that we eat. We sell some, and we don't have like those big animal hurting machines and things. We live on a almost fully natural way of like an animal would have lived, but like on a farm, right?
So tell me about your farm. What animals do you farm?
So we have cows, pigs, sheep that technically aren't on a farm, but they roam around the it's not mountains, hills, I guess. Yeah.
How many cows?
About 6 at a time.
The female, male? What's the percentage?
The male cow is 1 to 6.
Oh, it's 1 to 6. How does that happen? What happens to all the other males?
They either when like if a female cow births a male cow, we either use it for food or
So you either kill them. No. Say it how it is.
kill them. Okay, yeah. Or we in the industry of producing food or in the culture, it's not good to inbreed them. So we send them to other farms so they don't have inbred cattle as well.
So let me ask you this. You said if they're born male, you kill them. I'm curious, how is that moral? So you're judging them. They did not choose to be born male, yet you think that if they're born that way, it's not preferable for you, so you kill them. How is that moral to that animal? How are you acting morally towards that animal? You don't need to do that, so how are you doing that and it's moral to you?
If it's born a male, it's not killed right away. It has about the same life expectancy of the other animals at the farm. Just that
No. Don't compare the life expectancy of one cow to the life expectancy of a chicken. Just like you can't expect.
No. I'm comparing it to other cows. The only cows.
So how do you have
all
them?
The cows,
Wait. No, that's not true.
Yes.
Because logically, you have one male and 6 females. If males would live just as much as females, as they normally do, if you say you kill them right about the same age you kill females, which by the way, both are kind of fucked up, but let's just go with this one right now. Then you would arguably have an equal amount of males to an equal amount of females, or definitely not such a big difference between them. So
yeah, yes,
you definitely don't kill them at the same age. You realize that, right?
None of the young male cows get killed just because they're male, but usually they get sent to other farms, so there's no inbred devastation. I don't know how to spell that word.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this: how long can a cow live?
Honestly, I would not be able to answer that because I have no clue.
That's okay. Let me ask you how long does a cow on your farm lives?
At most 4 to 5 years.
Thank you. A cow can live 20 to 25 years. So you're killing them at a quarter of their lifespan. How is that fair towards them?
That's like asking why a bird in the wild gets killed.
No, there's a difference. A bird in the wild gets killed by a predator because a predator doesn't have a choice. You, however, have very much a choice. So I'm asking you, how do you morally justify making the choice to kill an innocent animal at a quarter of their lifespan, especially after that animal has put their trust in you?
I'm not sure about the trust part, but you do it. Well, yeah, go
You
on.
give them food. What do you mean you're not sure about the trust? You give them food. You build a relationship with them. You don't just treat them like an object. You actually
N-
pet them from time to time. I'm assuming you do treat them like actual. You treat them nicely. You're not just treating them like objects, also,
Yeah,
right?
the food they live on a on not a field. Yeah, on a field. They live on a field, and they eat the grass, and there's different types of trees on the field, and they eat the things that fall from the trees, so fruits or whatever.
I'm sure that
There's
during winter they don't have that, right? During winter.
during winter they get the hay from the same field they were in the summer.
No, wait. How can they get the hay from the same field, knowing that they ate all the grass in that field as they were during summer? They get hay from a different field. I'm from Romania. I've seen this, dude. By the way, like what you're saying is not logical. They get hay from a different field.
The field that we have the cattle on is much larger than they need to have it. So
Okay.
there's grass left on.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, but what I want to be clear on this one is that while they are eating some grass, you are essentially using considerably more land to feed them year round, correct?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least we tackled that. But now I want to come back to this whole idea of these animals. You keep them safe. You give them a field where they can eat. I'm assuming if they need veterinary visits, they will have a veterinary visit. So all these animals, they do form a bond with you somehow. And you break that bond and you exploit them as not as the beings that they are, but as the bodies that they have. And you kill them for the bodies that they have. If their bodies were for some reason not giving you what you wanted, maybe you would leave them alone. But because you so desperately crave to eat their flesh, you think it's okay to exploit and slaughter them. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'd say you kill them and like take them for food because you get the proteins from them. You could get them from plant-based supplements, but as I said, for me that hasn't worked out.
Not supplements, but plant-based food. Plant-based food is can
Yeah,
just
or
be high
food,
in
yeah.
protein. Like if I ask you how much protein did you have yesterday, do you know?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, well, I can tell you because I count mine, and I can tell you that I had considerably more protein than probably most people have had in this chat in almost any day throughout their life. Because I had yesterday 300 grams of protein, and I normally have at least 250. Yesterday was a particularly high day in protein, but you can definitely have all the protein that you need. You can get all the nutrients that you need. So when you make this choice to use this animal to treat them like an object, do you think that that's not wrong?
Well, why just animals? You could argue that plants are as well, just you treat them like objects. Would you not?
I can go down that route, but let's first, and I can go like you can like based on your logic right now, you can both admit that doing it to animals is wrong and doing it to plants is wrong. And we can tackle the plants argument right now, but let's first finish with the animal argument. So do you think that doing this to an innocent animal, exploiting and slaughtering them for something you don't need is wrong?
Can you hear me?
If if we just say the part don't need, because I don't believe you don't need them, but if we say yes, don't need them, then it would be wrong to just slaughter animals.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you saying that. Now let's go to the plants argument. So the plants argument is that plants are not sentient. Do you know what sentience means?
Yeah, to like understand what's happening or whatever.
Yeah. So
And beef and meat.
yeah. So Mohammed, you have to be quiet, please, because we're not talking to you right now. So the sentience essentially just means that they have an experience of the world, right? A sentient being will have an experience throughout their life. They have some emotions sometimes. They see something they like. They see something they don't like. They just have a whole life of experiences, just like you are now, just like most humans are. That's what we value. Because if you think about what's valuable within your life, it's not your intelligence, your body, or your humanity. It's your experiences in that life. That's what we value as humans in general. Animals have the same thing. Therefore, we should also give them the same moral consideration that we would to a human being. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I wouldn't say they have the same level of sentience that we do.
I never said that they have the same. I'm saying that they have experiences. You may not have the same level of sentience that I do. It's not like we have no way of knowing. Like, there's animals on this planet who have more senses than us, and thus they may have a richer experience at life than we do. That does not mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's how rich our experience of life isn't necessarily dictated by how intelligent we are, is it?
No, it's not, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So then it's pretty simple. Animals do have an experience of the world. They do have kind of the same senses as us, but obviously their experience would be different than us, just like your experience is different than mine. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so knowing this, knowing that they would have a subjective experience of the world, wouldn't you say that then what you do to them, treating them like slaves and killing them when you want to eat their flesh is wrong?
I mean, the part of treating them like slaves, I would not agree with.
Are they
but
free to go away from your farm?
They have a relatively big, I don't know how to call it, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, but are they free? If they want to go away, even from that big field, are they free to go away?
They aren't, but if you look
So
at
they're slaves.
if you look at the natural way or cattle lived in the past, they never moved a lot. You would agree with that, right?
No,
That
because
is absolutely not true.
it's
That is
not
absolutely
true.
not true.
Yeah, and I can tell you one thing. Here in Netherlands, there are parks where you can still see like bisons or these wild cows, and they do
Yeah.
move around a lot. They like to go into water sometimes. They move around a lot. Like, I literally did a trail, and they moved almost half the distance that I moved on that trail, and it was a pretty long trail. So yes, they do move. It's just because we keep them confined, they cannot move, and because
Yeah.
even if we keep them confined in a big place, they're still not free, and thus they are slaves.
Yeah, let's say okay, yes,
Actually, this actually ties in the exact topic I wanted to groupthink with Chip. You have touched on the exact thing. First off, the statement that you just made about bovine not being migratory is just patently false. Every wild bovine species does not stay put. They go where the grass is tall, and they leave where the grass is short. And this is so the thing I wanted to bring up was actually because I don't have an opinion about this yet, and I'm very concerned about climate change. And one of the things that people are doing right now is regenerative farming. And so I'm wondering if there is a place in our future where we have an exploitation-free symbiotic relationship with herds of cattle, where we perhaps coax them to go certain places to regenerate the ecology. And we don't take their cows, we don't take their babies, we don't take their milk. We maybe help them and say, hey, can we go this way now? Because the grasses over here need your manure. And bring the cows to where fields need to be regenerated, because the natural processes, like what the bison used to do in North America, is they would travel all over the continent, a huge, massive area. They would travel from place to place, so they would not decimate any ecology, because they knew if they came back, the grasses would regrow, and the grasses actually grow stronger when they are grazed upon by these animals. And so I'm very curious where is there a way that we can have a relationship with animals in the future where we don't eat them, where we don't consume any of their products, but we work together to tend the land?
I mean, sure. I think that morality in these situations inherently involves you looking after their interest, not necessarily solely on their interest, but also on their interest, right? So if you are doing that, if you are respecting their interests, looking after their interests, and in the process you are also helping yourself out, I don't think necessarily that's bad. I wouldn't have an issue with that personally.
Yeah, they're doing that right now in Mexico, in the desert that spans the southern United States and into Mexico. There's these Mexican farmers that are moving cows all over, like they move them over huge regions, and the purpose is to regenerate the land that has been just like absolutely decimated by modern agriculture. And so regenerative farming is something I've been just like deep diving into, and animals seem to be a really crucial part of that, because naturally they would have been part of the ecosystem. They would have been like the grazers would have come through, and when they bite grass, they actually stimulate growth, root growth, and it helps hold the soil together. Whereas when we grow these big vast monocultures, we create dust bowls. We create these places where the soil is dead, I've been fascinated by this regenerative farming thing, because I'm trying to think, how do we solve the future? How do we? And I think veganism is an important part of it, but I'm also thinking, okay, now we're looking at vegetarianism. How do we handle these this relationship with these animals? What do we do with these giant herds that are on feedlots? Can we set them free to graze? And can we make sure that they don't get over too many predators like take them out? But anyways, it's such an interesting rabbit hole that I've been pondering. But anyways, that person's claim that cows don't move around is just like, look at what wildebeest do. Wildebeest are huge herds that move all over Africa.
Just want to be sure, just want to be very clear on this one. It is indeed okay as long as we don't exploit them in any way, right? Like, as long as we keep exploitation off, right? And exploitation means unfair usage, right? So as long as we don't bring them to life ourselves, as long as we let them do their thing, we help them and we look them after their interest, and in the process, we also, I don't know, as you said, move them around to save certain areas, and in that process, we are being fair towards them, then I think I don't see any problem with it. It's just that there is kind of a slippery slope, because that's how we ended up with what we have right now, where if we think we can use animals for whatever reason, we will be cutting corners, because, you know, when you use an animal, you end up justifying a lot of things. So yeah, but I will drop a study. There's a study, I dropped it in the chat here in Discord. There's a study about a different type of fertilizer that can also help. You don't need animals.
Well, the big thing with regenerative farming is that you don't need any fertilizer at all. The regenerative farming is like cycling your crops, and that the main job of the farmer is to tend the soil, not the individual crops. And so it's a really fascinating topic that is like, there's huge legislation right now in the United States they're trying to push. It's bipartisan, people trying to push regenerative farming as the standard practice rather than the giant monocultures that just decimate our soil, because if the soil dies, we all die.
Yeah, it's just like, keep in mind, it's like, if you would, let's put it this way, if you do it to a human being, if it's okay to do it to a human being, then it's okay to do it to a cow.
Yeah, I was also thinking, like, I've been thinking about our humanity and what is our role here on this planet, and I think it's our job to take care of other species, to learn to take our big brains and to learn about the needs of other animals and then tend to them. So like, if we're working with this herd of cows, this hypothetical herd of cows, that they're not ours, we just hang out with them, and we maybe say, hey, can we go this way? Because that field over there looks like it's good for you guys, and it looks a little dry. And we go there, and we rejuvenate that land. And then also things like, oh, that cow looks like it's sick. Like, do we intervene? Do we provide veterinary medicine to that cow? Like, what is our role as a species? Do we intervene at all? Like, if there's an animal in need, do we help, or do we just Do we just let nature take its course? And so that's the thing. I don't have any answers. I've been thinking about these questions because I think that it's a really interesting, like, what does our future look like? What could it look like if we fix things?
I mean, we can have these conversations, but like I think like it would be cool if you ever like if you want to come on my channel at some point and have these conversations. But right now, I think we should like just go towards the veganism thing because you know, I think that's the point where we're all here, right? Trying to get people to.
Yeah, it seemed appropriate though because it is our relationship to animals.
Yeah. Like I feel like again, like for me, this whole point boils down to you can simplify it by saying, is it okay to do it to a human being? Yes, then it's okay to do it to a cow. Simple.
Also, I want to address this because I find it so funny the person in the side channel had to use an AI, and AI is saying some fucking wacky shit in the side channel. Moral actions don't determine whether you're a good person. Bro, what?
What the hell does that mean?
It's like if someone, well, I'm guessing someone just went to ChatGPT and said, please defend this.
Or they went to bath salts.
Bath salts.
What do they take normative statements to be then? That's so wild.
The vegans think veganism should be legally enforceable. You can't force a philosophy onto someone. Even if you try, it's not gonna work. If you're not gonna let, bro, what's this side channel? That's so funny. Oh man. Oh yeah, Twisted. Yesterday I had the worst day ever.
Mm-hmm.
With my ripped muscle, I sneezed.
Ooh.
Bro.
Ooh. Yeah.
Bro.
I did that last October. I feel your pain. Muscle injuries are the worst. I'd rather have a broken bone.
Bro, like ripped muscle near my ribs and then a sneeze. That's like the worst, the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, I've had the same thing with a back and a cough at the same time.
Oh,
not good.
Oy.
Nothing like a muscle injury to remind you just how interconnected all of your bits are.
True, true though. Yeah.
But no, I went to a doctor today, the hospital, just to double check. They said, yeah, nothing to do with lungs, nothing to do with ribs, it's just a muscle. And they're giving me roughly 2 to 4 weeks to recover. So
are you doing any PT?
Physical training?
Therapy? Yeah.
Therapy, no, but I have a physio coming up next week, so I can ask them about it.
That's when I did my the physical therapist that I worked with was amazing to really help me heal faster.
Yeah, I had the issues on my back right shoulder blade, and I've noticed it's all related to my neck. I was like, oh shit, didn't I know?
Yeah, a lot of people who game like stoop and like you gotta watch your posture as you game, like sit in the computer chair and stuff. So yeah, I've had that too.
For anyone interested, turn your torso a little bit to the left and look at your toe. You're gonna feel a really nice stretch on your neck. And that's what I do. Fuck. Any other questions about veganism?
I think you went AFK. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I was. I had to use the bathroom for a second. So, yeah. Let's tackle this. Does everybody agree with the statement that being vegan is the only way to respect animals?
Do we agree or disagree?
Yeah. Does everybody agree with it? My question.
I think so. I think what you're looking for is, does anyone disagree with it?
Fair enough. Does anybody disagree with it?
I still think being vegan is not all bad. Not being vegan is not all bad.
But to who? To who? To you or to the victim?
To anyone, because I'd say if there was a world that we would be like the animals, you know, I would actually not mind or be. I wouldn't be like, why are they killing us? They have a perfectly fine source of doing it a different way. I wouldn't actually be like that. I think it would actually be, yeah, I get it. You need to get food. You have other alternatives, but that's the easiest way. I would actually not be mad for them doing that.
I think okay, here's a fun little question. It's a little bit difficult for me to go to work because I have to take my car, I have to drive. I hate driving. I have to pay for fuel, you know. Or what I could do, it's come up to you, put a knife at your back and say, "Give me all your money," and do it every single day. Which one do you think is better?
Yeah, I'd say it's better you do it yourself, right? Because why would you
Wait, which
steal
one
from
is
people?
better, stealing from you or going to a job?
You go to your job, yeah,
Okay, and why is it better?
because everyone is does things for themselves. I'd say,
Well,
yeah.
if I was thinking about only myself, I would only care about things that gave me pleasure, right? Gave me a lot of pleasure. So what would give me a lot of pleasure? It's stealing from you because I don't have to drive my car. I don't have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you don't want to get in trouble with legally with cops.
Wait, do you think I would steal from you if I could get away with it?
I'm not saying you would, but in your hypothetical, you are implying that.
Okay, let me ask you, do you think I should steal from you if I can get away with it?
There are people that would. I don't think you should.
Wait. Okay. You don't think I should, even if it's more easier for me, right?
No, because you want a society that works and doesn't. If everyone did that, it would just go to zero.
Wait.
No, it's
What
just
if
me.
what if the society would work if you still chose to steal?
It does not.
No, but hypothetically, if it would work, not everybody can do it. Only you are in this privileged position where you can steal, and society still is okay. Would it be moral for you to steal?
I don't think there's a hypothetical even that there would be a society that you could be the one stealing. I don't think there is a way for that to just happen for a person or a group of people, because it would not work.
Well, come on, man. I mean, nowadays, you gotta admit that there's several people on this planet who steal politicians. Well, not most. I don't want to say most, but a lot of politicians, they do steal and they get away with it, and society doesn't break down. So yes, there are individuals on this planet who are living in a situation where they can choose to steal and get away with it, and society doesn't break down. The question is it moral to do so?
Well, like wait, I don't know. Like Felix said, with a knife to your throat, I'd say not. But in some ways, I think stealing in the whole thing is not moral. But in a way, when you described it, I think there is a way to be that to make that moral. Because you're making hypotheticals that do not work out, and I think in that hypotheticals there might be a way for that to be good.
There is a way where you would be acting morally towards the individual that you're stealing from when you are stealing from them.
Okay, which grandma should I steal from to make it okay?
You should
sorry,
still
but
you.
sorry for interrupt, but what mean moral? I
If
can't
you
get
check,
the idea and
if you check
understand the.
just check the chat. Just check the chat.
Okay, thank you.
It would be moral if you, let's say, stole from the people that, I don't know, steal from like wait, let me check his name because I wanna,
we're talking
like the
about
cheap guy said that politicians steal, right? That's what he said. If you steal from them, that's not morally wrong.
Wait. No. Come on, really? So if I hold a politician at gunpoint, then I'm acting morally?
If they steal, yes, I'd say you are acting morally. If they steal and you steal from them, yes.
I don't think two wrongs make a right.
I was gonna say just that. I don't
Is
think that.
taxation moral?
Huh? What?
Is taxation moral?
If it's done correctly, I'd say yes, because the taxation is meant for everyone to have clean streets, to have
Well,
plumbing, etc.
taxation
You know?
is a plus or minus depending on who you talk
Yeah.
to. But usually you pay tax, so you can be helped in the future when you're old.
But I think like what you're saying is that it's not necessarily that it would be moral, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what you're saying is that it would be you would be doing justice in a way, right? You would be
Yeah, I'd say it would be acceptable.
It would be acceptable because you're stealing from somebody who stole themselves, and in an essence you're like giving them a taste of their own medicine or something kind of thing, right?
Kind of like that. Yeah, let's just put it like that. Yeah.
Okay, but if you would be stealing from somebody who has never stolen, somebody who has, been acting as decent as they can, could that ever be moral?
I'd say no.
No. Okay. So then if we bring it back to animals, would it be moral?
Yeah.
Do you think that any of these animals have done anything to you?
To me, some animals, I don't know, snakes bite you just because you are.
I don't mean those
Let's say.
snakes. I mean the animals that you pay for them to be exploited and slaughtered.
The animals,
The cows, the
no.
chickens, the pigs.
Sometimes they do things that like would be considered for a human to do incorrect. Like, I don't know, they peck at you. Example, chickens, they peck at you, or the bulls, they charge at you.
I mean, they do
Just
all
because-
that after you have bred them. You have
No, not breed them. Just because you are too close to them. In that way, it would be okay for me to, I don't know, to go and stab someone just because they stepped 2 meters too close to me, you know?
So if a chicken,
Would you not say
if
that?
a chicken pecks at you, you think it's morally justified for you to cut the throat of a chicken? If a chicken, let me put it this way, if a chicken that you are keeping captured, it pecks at you, then it's morally okay for you to kill them?
When you keep it captured, I'd say no, but if you go like wild animals, they would still attack you just because you're too close to them.
Yeah,
or
so
because they don't feel comfortable,
Well,
let's say.
If an animal enters my house, I will try to get rid of them, and if I cannot, I may use force. In the same way that if I enclose on the space of an animal, they may use force against me. Like, all of this is justified, but I'm talking about an innocent animal, somebody who has not done nothing to you. Would it be fair for you to exploit and slaughter them, for you to use force or violence against them?
I'd say yes, as long as their how's it called, their bodies don't get wasted for nothing.
What do you mean their bodies don't get wasted for nothing? You kill them because you think you benefit from it. That's not nothing.
Because you get food, yes, and
Not necessarily
as
food,
long
whatever
as
benefit. Why is it like Jesus Christ, like, what is the difference between using an animal for one benefit and using an animal for food benefit? Is there a difference?
I'd say yes, because you need food to survive, but you don't need something else just for benefit.
But if you don't need that specific food to survive, then it also makes it immoral, doesn't it?
We made an entire loop because, as I
Yeah.
said at the beginning, for me the plant-based things didn't work out.
No, you just didn't do it the right way. That's it. That's all. You just didn't eat enough, and you say it didn't work out. So let me put it this way: if animal-based food don't work out for me, can I go and kill humans?
Probably not. Yeah, I'd say no. Okay.
Wait, why not? Because I don't think I can survive with eating just animals, and I want to start eating humans. It seems like a
No,
logical escalation.
Because there's less how do you call that, less sentient, I guess, or not sentient, less something ways to do that. I don't know the word.
I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry. Do you mean like there's better ways to do that? What?
Yeah, there's better ways to do it. Yeah.
So there's better ways for me to have a diet, or there's better ways for me to kill a human? What do you mean?
There's better ways for you to have a diet.
Okay, so let's put it this way: when it comes to, okay, we've already established that we should not be killing humans for food, even if we cannot make a diet based on animals' work. Let's see: should we be killing dogs?
If there's no other way of getting it, so like there's the only way to get food it would be humans, then I'd say it's justifiable.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. But like, if you're in the situation that you are in, I tried consuming animal products. It didn't work out for me. I switched to humans. It's easier. You get all the nutrients because you know what? Every human makes all the nutrients that my body needs, because biologically they make all the nutrients that their body needs also.
It's not easier because if you eat your own race or whatever, there you get sick. There are illnesses you get from eating your human flesh.
No, you can bypass that by cooking the flesh well enough. There's people who don't get sick from it.
From
Okay,
as
well,
far as
may I say something maybe about that topic? Like, there's
Yes,
actual bacteria.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, there's actual bacteria like that actually is not meant to consume by humans. You know what I mean?
What bacteria is that?
I don't know.
It's like basically like, look, man, like there's like people that basically ate other people, and eventually like got like fucking brain like something in their brain. Like in Africa, there's like a how you say it, like a colony of people, like still like Aboriginal, if you want to call it like that, and they actually eat people. But there's also like, you know, like actual like videos and stuff like that where these people are going into like shock and like all these kind of things because like the bacteria is infecting their brain basically.
Yeah. So I can explain to you why.
Tissue.
So the reason why the reason why that happens
is not the same as an animal.
No, let me
You see,
explain to
if
you.
you know what I mean.
No. It is exactly the same. But for a human being, you should not be eating brain or nervous tissue. If you don't eat brain or nervous tissue, if you're only eating the muscles of a human being, you are exactly in the same place as you would be if you're eating the muscle of an animal. Okay, so if I want to eat a human being, if I want to eat the muscles of a human being, I'm obviously not going to get sick from it. I obviously tried eating animals and it didn't work out for me, so now I want to move to humans. Is that morally justified for me to kill humans and eat them?
Listen, there's another part that comes with eating a human, you know? It's illegal, you know? You can't just eat a human because it's illegal.
All of this is just like nonsensical, because I am rich as fuck, let's imagine. I can buy off a country. There's several people on this planet who have enough money to buy off countries. That is insane, by the way. And I make it legal there to eat humans. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, but that no, it's not gonna work like that, man. I'm sorry, but it's not gonna work like that.
It is pretty simple.
No,
yeah,
you can't
it
just
is.
buy a country and make the laws so you can like eat people. Because
Dude, I'm not sure what. I go into international waters. There you go. I go into international waters. There's no country there. There's no legality there. Can I eat a human being there? Is it moral for me to eat a human being? I'm not asking about legality. I'm asking about morals. Are you still there?
Bro's thinking about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so any other person with a question?
I'm just like, I'm failing. Yeah, go on.
I will answer that question with a no, because they're the same species as you.
Well, let's imagine that I'm not human, actually. Turns out, I'm a hominoid, indeed. I walk on 2 legs, I think, but I am not actually human. I'm just like...
Chip came out of the cave 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Nobody knew about Chip.
I'm a Homo erectus. I'm a different species of hominoids. I'm not human being. I'm not Homo sapiens. I'm Homo erectus.
You would be...
What the fuck is that? I'm sorry. Like, what does that mean?
It's another ape that looks similar to a monkey. Oh,
Yeah.
human. Sorry.
It's another human.
Yeah, but like, are you going the route of identifying as it? Because like to me, you just look at it as like any other human being. You know what I mean? You just have like choices that you make different from another human being, maybe. You know,
I said
but like to me, you're
hypothetically.
just like a human. You know what I mean?
So let me explain something about species, because everybody has this issue with species. Species is not a clear line in DNA, okay? Species is just a mountain of characteristics that we have deemed as these individuals are this. But the reality is, biologically speaking, species is extremely difficult to define. Like, you cannot define species as somebody who actively who can create fertile offsprings, because there's human beings who cannot be fertile. Therefore, are they no longer human because you cannot have fertile offsprings with them? The definition, the distinction between species is incredibly difficult to have. So if for some reason, I am so different from everybody else, whatever, I have 6 toes on every leg, I walk a little bit slanted, I don't even know, like, all the characteristics are slightly different enough that I can now no longer be considered human, right? I'm just saying hypothetically, would that give me the right to exploit and kill a human being?
You're still a human being.
No, I would not be. I would not be a human by any definition of what a human is.
But what would you be?
I don't know, a different type of animal. Just like human is a type of animal, I would be a different type of animal.
I'd say yes.
So then I would be acting morally if I choose to kill and eat a human being?
Yes, if you weren't a human being but a different animal, yes. I'd say yes.
Wow. I mean, wow. What? How? So all this. I'm just curious. Like, why is it that you think drawing the line at species is any better than drawing the line at race? I'm just curious. Why?
Because the animal kingdom or whatever, the whole world works with prey and predators. There is prey and there is predators, so there's how's it called, balance.
It's a logical balance.
Right?
That's what you can call it. It's a logical balance. So you need predators and you need prey. And otherwise, if there's too much from one species, bro, it will fucking probably like ruin a whole lot of ecosystem.
Yeah.
That is why there is a balance.
Yes.
You need killers and you need to have food, basically. I can understand that.
So none of that, by the way, none of that is related to my question. None of that is related to my question. We can go down that route, and I'll listen. I'll write it down right now. I wrote down ecosystems because you guys have that concerns. I wrote it down, and we can go down that route. But I am not right now interested in you asking my question. Answering my question. So, what is the difference between drawing the line at sentience, drawing the line at species, and drawing the line at race? Both are a clump of phenotypes that we have defined. Both are just categories that encapsulate a clump of phenotypes. So what is the distinction between them? Like, why is it that one is better than the other?
There's distinction in DNA, right? In race, there's phenotypes.
No. So race is not distinctively shown in DNA. It is a group of phenotypes, just like species is not distinctively shown in the DNA. It is a group of phenotypes. Both are groups of
Yep.
phenotypes. So why is it that you think that discriminating based on one group of phenotype is okay, but discriminating based on the other group of phenotypes is not okay?
Technically, most humans carry roughly 3% of Neanderthal DNA still, and so that you can trace it back to Neanderthals, that we all have common heritage. If you test any living human, they'll have roughly 3% Neanderthal DNA.
No, that's not every human. It's more in white people than anyone else.
So I'm asking again the question: why is it okay to discriminate based one group of phenotypes and it's bad to discriminate based on another group of phenotypes?
Because there's a line we draw. Because you could go with this question even further. Why is there? Why don't we discriminate against where we live? Why don't we discriminate against how tall we are? You know, there has to be a line for some balance.
Well, no, we don't have to discriminate based on any phenotypes or phenotypical groups, do we? We don't have to discriminate based on phenotypes.
Well, may I say something? Like, can we just fucking use like normal terms of words, maybe? You know, because like you're making it like really difficult for some people to understand maybe what you're talking about. Because
What
like,
is it that
the
you
hell?
don't understand? It's pretty simple. So the reason why I'm using these words, by the way, is because you guys are using an arbitrary delimitation called species. And what I'm trying to explain to you, that the arbitrary delimitation called species is just as arbitrary delimitation called race. They're both just equally arbitrary, and lines that you just draw in the sand that mean absolutely nothing, morally or logically. They're just clumps of characteristics. They're just clumps of characteristics that an individual has. That's it. Just clumps of characteristics. That's it.
That's the way you see things, but that's not the way we see things.
That's the scientific definition. That's the scientific argument. It's not my opinion.
Well, we have a clear human genome that I've posted in the side chat.
We have a clear human
I
genome.
would
Please
love-
explain to me how you can define, you can look at a DNA and say this person was human if you don't have any other DNA next to you. The only way we can know if a DNA is human is by comparing it to another DNA, and that is human. Because there's no distinction in our DNA that says we're human.
But by your definition of like phenotypes, there's a clump of phenotypes. There's a clump of phenotypes. We are just a clump of cells, as well as everything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a really great new book I just started. It's called Nexus. It's about the history of human networks, and one of the things they talk about in that book is this term called intersubjectivity. And species is a word of intersubjectivity. The only thing that species does, just like money, it exists because we all agree it does. It's not an actual measurable thing. It's a thing that we have made up, and we consciously all use the same description of a thing, even though it's not objectively measured.
But listen, didn't we use like species? Didn't we have like the word species so we can what do you say, like differentially, like have like different sectors of animals? So like a kangaroo is not the same fucking like sector as an arachnid or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
So
like
that-
you're
I see
comparing.
species as something that like how you call that fucking word? I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah,
but
but
like differentiate or whatever, like animals from each other, so we know in what
It's a
category they
categorization.
will fall.
Exactly, it's a category.
Yes.
Thank you.
So what is the point? Like, I don't understand the argument.
But
you know
all
what
these
I mean?
cat-
About,
all
like,
these ca-
species, like
all these categories, all these categories,
with a dog.
all these categories do not mean anything when you boil down to the details and the line between species. Because while if you compare a cat to a dog like this guy just did, sure, there's a clear distinction. It's pretty simple to differentiate
It's a
or to
different species,
categorize. Yes, but there are species that are so similar that you cannot differentiate between the two. There are species. Which species? I don't know. Maybe like what is it? A donkey and a mule? Do you know the difference between can you identify a donkey versus a mule?
Well, a mule is a fucking mix. It's a mixed breed. It's a horse
it's
with
a
a donkey.
hybrid.
So it's
Exactly.
like the difference. Like, but
Yeah,
the thing
but
is,
that's
they share.
exactly.
Like the thing is though that they share. They share similar DNAs, and that's why they are able to procreate with each
Jesus
other and
Christ.
make something that
No.
is basically not even existing. You know what I mean?
No, mule. There you go. A mule is not. A mule
The same
cannot
when you
procreate.
like
A
cross
mule
a
cannot
tiger with a
procreate.
fucking lion. It's
So
exactly
that's
the
the whole
same.
thing. That's the whole thing. You know, what I'm trying to explain to you is, and you
Yeah,
pointed
because they've
out
got
very
a horse,
clearly.
you can't do.
What you pointed out very clearly is that all of these are just categories. That's right. They are all just categories. So my question is, how can we morally justify killing somebody because they're born in a category that we deem as unworthy? Like, is that really moral? Like, if I categorize humans like I do all animals, then can I choose certain categories of humans and exploit and slaughter them just because they're in a different category than me?
People done that. They were called cannibals, and we killed off the cannibals because we didn't like them. So yeah, you have the freedom of choice. You also have the freedom of consequence.
So you're saying cannibalism is moral?
To them, it probably was. They probably weren't. Oh no, bro, I'm a cannibal. They were.
No,
okay,
no,
yeah,
no,
bro,
no,
I
no,
am.
no, 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 not to them, not this bullshit. I'm asking
Yeah,
to
but
you.
you are
Is
asking-
cannibalism moral to you?
We killed cannibals because it was
No,
unmoral
no.
to
I'm just
us.
trying to prove that you
Yes,
lack
yes,
logical
yes, yes.
consistency within your moral values. Is
I get that.
cannibalism right or wrong for you?
For me specifically, cannibalism is wrong, but to people that are cannibals, the
That's
cannibalism
not. I don't care.
was right.
I don't
wait,
care.
let me continue.
But I don't care what other
Yeah.
people. I'm interested in your own values. So to you,
Yes.
cannibalism is wrong.
Can I? Yes, cannibalism to me is wrong, but to people that are cannibals, it's
I
right.
understand.
So
I really don't
so
care
there's-
about that.
Yeah, yeah.
I really don't care
let me
about that.
continue,
No,
just-
I know what you're gonna say. So therefore, because eating animals is right for me and it is wrong to you, therefore I am acting morally. I know what you're about to say. I have heard it plenty of times. I just strictly want to test this hypothesis of yours, right? So you say that cannibalism is wrong. Why is cannibalism wrong? Why is it wrong to eat a human being out of another category that I put value on, right? Why is it wrong if I choose, like, according to you, why is it wrong, according to your own values,
because-
if I choose to eat a human being that's part of a different category than me?
Yes. I get it. Because the category category you make does not. I'm not like I don't believe in the category you made.
It doesn't make sense. It seems arbitrary, doesn't it?
I guess. Let's say yes. Okay.
Okay. So then why wouldn't the other category that you have been taught, that I clearly am telling you now is arbitrary, why wouldn't you see that one as arbitrary? Or what exactly makes that other categorization logical to you? Like, what makes it that the species categorization is logical to exploit and slaughter them because they're a different species for optional products for all that same circumstance, but the race category, the sex category, the gender category, whatever other category I want to create, is all of a sudden nonsensical or illogical? Like, why is it logical for species but illogical for all others?
Every category that you just listed was in a few or a few hundred or whatever years ago. There was not that category. No, not there. There was not. There was the category, and people were, for their morals, or that at that time everyone's morals, they didn't care about them. Like it was in the history, and
And did you think
it still is.
Do you think that's moral? So do you think racism was moral because those people at those times, they saw it just like you do now as a different category, and they found it as morally justified? Do you think racism was moral then?
I say racism isn't moral, but so there was racism. There, I don't know, sexuality, whatever. And there's that nowadays, and people take it as the norm, just like they took it with racism. Would you agree to that?
That people find it normal? Yeah, of course that's what happened. Of course I know people just like you do now. Do you understand that what you're doing right now? That's the insane part about it. Because somebody told you that it's normal to kill and exploit these animals. It's bad to exploit and kill these other animals. It's normal to kill these ones, but it's bad to kill these other ones. And you find it all of a sudden highly logical, and yes, it makes sense. And what I'm here trying to tell you is that it makes just as much sense as those people during those times that you just mentioned made sense out of their discrimination. You're just another form of discriminating. You're just discriminating in another way based on a different thing that those individuals did not choose to. Like a cow did not choose to be born a cow. A dog did not choose to be born a dog. Yet if a cow is born a cow, you seem to be okay with cutting their throat and eating them for optional products, strictly for optional food. But if they're born a dog, you seem to think, well, maybe not for optional food.
No,
Maybe not.
I think I myself wouldn't make a difference between a dog and a cow because they are the species they are. We make a difference because on a cow there's a lot more
That's not true.
protein, but
That's
more,
not true.
yeah, not
No,
protein,
not true
not
because
protein,
you eat
not
chickens.
protein, but
You eat
there's-
chickens. There's
Yes,
not much
yes.
more meat on a
Wait,
chicken than
wait,
there is
wait,
on a
wait.
dog. That's a ridiculous statement.
If we
I
can
don't think
say-
there's any moral difference, but like
Wait.
there's absolutely different cultures that agree upon
Wait,
different things. Like
wait.
in China, they don't think it's a problem to eat a dog. In India, they
Well,
do think it's a problem to eat a
if-
cow. It
if
doesn't really
this
matter,
guy-
but it's universal that
Wait,
cannibalism is bad.
can we ask the person his opinion on it? So would you be okay with like people eating their own dogs if they just let's say I rescued a dog. I went to a place where I can rescue a dog. I take the dog home and I cook it on the grill. Do you have any issues with that? It's
Hell yeah.
There's
Hi guys, can I say something?
We're having a conversation right now.
So you have
Okay,
to.
so sorry, bro. I'm sorry, so sorry.
I'm asking Big. If I go to
if
a
there,
place-
I understand. If the dogs were the same as cows right now, so there would be no connections just because for cows we use them for food right now. If we use the dogs as a food source, I would not have a problem with that. No.
There you go, Chip.
Okay.
So you would not have a problem with. I'm sorry. Can you please repeat it? I wasn't listening. Sorry.
I find a problem with eating dogs because over the years, how dogs became dogs from wolves was by us giving them food and them protecting us from other animals, and that's the morally wrong part from eating dogs.
Wait,
because
we did the same to
It's like
cows.
this. We created a mutual connection with a dog. It's a different thing as with a cow, in my opinion.
It's exactly the
wait.
same as a cow. We did the same thing to a cow. They're domesticated animals.
I have a
Yeah,
quick
it could be, but they're domesticated for a different reason.
Hold on,
And
guys. I have a question. In the side channel, I've put this huge company called Elwood Dog Meat. They breed dogs for the sole purpose of selling them for meat in America. Are you guys okay with that?
Is that
No.
objectively
But
wrong?
they're created to be eaten. They're literally created to
Yeah,
be eaten.
but still, look, I think it's something that we how you say it, like that's something that we actually like.
But the argument was if they were created to be eaten, then it's okay. And I'm just showing you a company that
It's not
creates
okay. Like that's not okay because where I live, I'm from the Netherlands. Yeah, I'm from the Netherlands. So where I'm from, we don't eat dogs. We I can only understand
okay, so
I go
are
to
you
the
okay?
store
Are you
and I
with
buy
the
a piece of meat, bro. That is
Hold on,
how I
Hold on.
grew up.
Wait. So do you have any issues with preventing people from growing up and having a culture of eating dogs?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wait, why? It's the
But
culture.
the thing is, look, who am I to actually?
Yeah. So are you going to say that there's nothing wrong with it? Because I don't understand your argument.
I'd say that
I don't mean to butt in, but can you guys, so the vegans, can you guys ground your morality that you're judging others by? Can you please ground that for us? When you say what's right and what's wrong, can you please ground that?
Necessarily, we're discussing moral topics. It's not.
Okay,
it's not
yeah.
necessarily judgment.
So what are you grounding your morality in?
Why would that matter? We're not asking whether
Because
something. Let me finish.
if
Let me finish. We're not saying something is moral or not objectively, which you are trying to imply. We're trying to show logical inconsistency in the moral values that people uphold.
So should people be morally consistent?
Well,
like can I give like a really like easy example? Let's say that I would
let him
go to
answer?
a slaughterhouse. Like hold on, let's say
I
that I
wasn't
would go
speaking
to
with
a
you.
slaughterhouse, and like I would actually get a bond with a cow that actually is going on a slaughter, like like on a slaughter weight that's gonna be slaughtered. Like like as a person, I don't have a connection with the animal that I'm gonna eat. But if I have a dog and I buy the dog and I like spend like time with the dog, like I'm not gonna think all of a sudden like, oh man, that dog looks delicious. Let me put it on the fucking smoker and see how it tastes. You know why? Because I have a bond with the fucking animal.
Who
But
cares?
when I go to the store, I
Who
don't have a
cares?
bond with the actual fucking piece of
Who
meat that I'm
cares?
gonna buy.
Who cares?
Like,
Who
you
cares if
understand
you
where
have
I'm
a
coming
bond with
from?
them or no? No, I understand. I
Yes.
understand what your logic is, but what you're saying is that if you don't have a bond with a dog, if a dog is bred specifically for that purpose, you don't have a bond with them. Yeah, they're just a random dog. They're not your dog. They're not
Oh,
a dog
yes,
that you
yes.
see in the
And I
eyes.
think
Then
that
it would be okay to
yes, and I
exploit and
think there's
slaughter
maybe a
them
lot of
for
people that
optional
maybe have
products.
eaten. Bro, listen, there's maybe a lot of people that went to foreign countries and they're being told that it's like beef, but in general, it's maybe a fucking dog or any other animal that they're not like
That's
basically,
not the
like
point. That's not the point
yes,
that
but
I'm
it's like the
saying.
same
You're
thing. It's
yet
the same
again,
thing,
you're
though.
yet again moving the goalpost and trying to make some form of an argument that doesn't make sense. We're not saying if
Yes,
you
it does make sense.
no, it doesn't, because if you accidentally eat somebody's flesh, it's not your fault that you accidentally do it. If you intentionally do it, it's a different thing. So if you intentionally choose to exploit and slaughter a dog that is not your own, a dog that you don't have a connection with, is that moral to you?
For me, it's not moral, but the thing is, if
Why
I feel
is
like
okay?
still.
Wait.
Why?
Let's.
I just told you because I probably like see a dog like where I'm from. We don't eat dogs. We see dogs as a pet, as a companion, as somebody that.
It's of cultural significance, really.
Cultural. Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because everybody keeps saying culture. Do you think that culture should dictate what if something is moral or not? I'm not asking if it does. I'm asking if it should.
No, I'd say no.
It can do if objective morality is
There's no such thing
subjective.
as objective morality, so let's move on
Is
from
that-
that.
Oh, is that objectively true?
Oh no, this is gonna be like a
Yeah,
meta
I'm not
ethics
interested.
trial.
I'm not religious.
Yeah, because
we don't.
because you
even
don't
if
want to
religion
give
is
an
come,
account or
even if you're
justification for
listen,
your
no,
moral oughts.
listen, buddy.
Got a good
Even if
point.
your moral values come from whatever you call God, they would still be subjective because they would be coming from the subject called God in your worldview. So they would still be
But is that
subjective.
objectively true? So if morals are just subjective, then anybody
like
here saying you
derail.
can eat animals, you have no argument against them.
This is a derail.
Because
If they're
it's
being
your,
morally
all you're saying
consistent,
is
yes.
all you're saying is
If
No, no,
anybody
because all you're saying
if
is
anybody in this chat, if
Right,
anybody here is saying that eating animals and eating humans for optional products, for optional
For
products,
any reason.
just because
For any
you want
reason.
to, no. Let's be clear. If you are exploiting and killing humans for the same reason that you are exploiting and killing animals, and that reason is trivial, it is optional, then and you think it is moral to do both, then you are morally consistent, and I have no argument
who said
with
that?
you. But if you are
didn't say
saying that one of them is wrong, then you are being morally inconsistent with your own values.
Well, no, I'm going to be consistent because human beings are not animals under my
wait,
We are
worldview.
animals.
Whereas under your view, if
Wait,
you
drops. What was the last thing Chip said?
hang on,
Okay, this is really important because I want to see if we're listening.
no, we were having a discussion then. You just jump in. Okay, go ahead, and then
drops. What did Chip say? I was listening to both of you. What did Chips just say?
he smuggled in there that humans are animals, and that's
what
not where
was-
I see humans are animals. I'm not coming from that
What was
worldview.
the text? What was the text before that?
The text
Oh,
or the context? Sorry.
Yeah, the sentence before that. What was the whole sentence before humans, animals?
I'd have to ask him to repeat it. I probably wouldn't give the exact word for word.
What am I
Let's just
interested
repeat
in?
of that.
What am I interested in? What
Well,
did I so
you
far
actually
explain that I'm
concede.
interested in it?
Yeah. Well, let me speak. Let me speak. So you actually conceded that objective morality does not exist, and it's all subjective. So all we're doing here really is just, hey, from my worldview,
No,
this
no,
is correct.
no,
And then
no,
someone
no,
else will
no,
say,
no, no.
Oh, is there objective
no,
morality?
I
Yes or no?
explain. Listen to you. Listen, man. I'm going to explain it
Yes or
one
no?
last time, and I will not have
Okay.
more conversations with you if you don't. If you do not listen, because I'm not interested
I'll
in
listen.
people who
Go
are
ahead.
trying here to just come here and say some bullshit that they have in their mind. I'm not. If you think it's morally right to exploit
Brother, I'm
and
sorry, bro,
slaughter
but he
a
just asked
human
you a
being,
question. You know, that like
if
it was just a question,
I
man.
don't see. Wait,
let me
please.
finish. If it's morally right to exploit and slaughter a human being according to your own values for the same reasons we do animals, then you are morally consistent in saying that it's okay to exploit and slaughter animals. And there's no argument for me to say against you, because those are your values. They're pretty fucked up values, and you would essentially be like a bigoted person if you have those values, but you would have to own up to all those definitions and terms. But if you think that exploiting and slaughtering a human being for the same reasons that we do animal, like optional products, but it's wrong, but then it's right to do it to animals, then you are being morally inconsistent, and that's when we can have an argument. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand. So if there is no God, then there is no distinction between humans and animals. So I
Jesus
understand
fucking
if you're
Christ.
arguing with an atheist, then yes, they'll have a very hard time in saying we can do X to animals, but not X
I'm
to
not even-
Homo sapien because
No,
they're
wait.
because under
I'm not atheist. I believe in a God that's in the shape of a chicken.
Okay.
There you go. So
Okay, so you're a deist.
If I'm not, but let's imagine that I would be. If I
you
believe that
just
my
said you
God
believe
is
in
in
a
the
God.
shape of a chicken, would that be morally justified for me to kill humans because humans are not in the shape of my God?
Well, you'd have to give a justification and a grounding for your God.
A justification and a grounding.
So does your God have a body?
Yes, in the shape of a chicken.
Okay, so he's in the material world, so he's not
he,
outside
she.
of
my God.
the
My God is not a male.
Okay.
She.
So your God isn't. Wait, so your God is within reality, so is within the
My
space,
God.
time, and matter.
There's just as much evidence.
Do they
for
exist
my...
inside of matter or outside?
There's just as they exist outside of
like
our universe's
conversation-
matter.
Well, how can they
Really?
exist outside of matter yet have a material body shaped as a chicken?
Okay, I
Yeah,
know
let's-
Chip's God.
Don't
is
come in to
literally-
save your friend. Let him answer. Shush.
No,
It's on
it's
the
not.
verge.
Shush. Let him answer.
So
Yo,
irrelevant.
Chip guy answered the guy.
So what is your
So
question
your God
again?
your chicken God has a material body that's outside of material reality?
It's
How-
outside
how
of
do you
this
square that?
material universe, yes.
And how do you know they have a chicken-shaped body?
The same way you know
Special.
that your God has a human body. It's scriptures.
Okay, and can you quote the scripture?
Can I quote
That's
the
a revelation.
scriptures?
Like
Thou
this is just bullshit.
Thou shall walk on two legs, have wings but cannot fly, and thou shall peck at your food. There you go. I quoted the
Oh,
scripture.
okay,
Next.
well, I'll leave with this statement. So, just for everybody listening, the
Ridiculous thing in the
non-theist or the atheist has to appeal to a god, essentially,
No, we
even if
don't.
it's just
No,
a
we don't.
joking way
No,
or
we
a
don't.
mocking way
No, we don't.
to
No, we
ground
don't. No, we
morality.
don't. No, we don't. No, we
Otherwise,
don't.
they have
No, we
nothing
don't.
to go
No, we
on
don't.
other than.
No, think
Okay,
Twist
look,
is
stop
glitched.
saying no, I don't. Otherwise,
You
all
don't.
they have is
You're an
my
idiot who doesn't
preference
understand
is what
basic
you
logic.
should
Wait,
follow
wait,
because I would prefer it.
Heard you the first time. You don't have to repeat yourself.
Wait. Everyone,
God is
stop.
a male.
Can we talk about not abusing animals? Can we just
Yeah,
stick to that
yeah.
point rather than religion?
Why
And-
ought
and-
we not abuse animals?
Wait.
What is
wait,
abuse? What is
wait.
abuse?
Okay, you can
Carly,
you can
can I-
finish for a second. No, Twisted, stop.
Okay.
If you do not want to talk about veganism, you're very welcome to leave. I will kick people out if we're going to talk about something else, which is irrelevant. Also, in majority of religions that we know, you also can be vegan, right? So we're just
You
simply
can
asked.
be under some I'll agree. Yes, so some religions you can be
think
vegan, and
If
they
this
have
dude
that,
wants to start another room with me and talk about metaphysics.
Okay, Twisted. One
Oh
second.
yeah, whoever said that, I'll happily go into that
Yeah,
room. But
just
I
real
would just
quick,
say, in
Drops,
ending and
please.
closing, I think you guys are on the right path in terms of questioning the.
Wait.
It's
We're not
funny.
questioning. We're not questioning the values of individuals. We're questioning the moral consistency. Do you understand that? There's
no,
one last time.
I hadn't finished. Yeah, so the moral consistency. If God does not exist, then humans are animals, and then you can have that argument with them, and it's very
We are
difficult
animals
to come
regardless.
out with that. It.
Wait,
Okay, so
okay,
if humans are animals, could I?
Okay. You opened a can of worms, Chip. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
I just quickly want to finish this off. We're just against unnecessary animal abuse. That's all we're talking about here. Whatever your religion you follow, we don't care. You can have a debate about religion. We don't care.
That's fine.
Can I at least finish, Drops? Just one
Okay,
tiny thing.
go ahead.
As long as you respect animals and don't kill them unnecessarily, then that's something that we want to talk about.
That's
Also,
fine.
if you
sorry, go ahead.
want to talk to Twisted in another VC about religions, please do.
great.
We do not want to waste our time talking about religion.
Yeah, I think it.
There is a
I think
Okay,
it'd
well, I'll end with this then.
be interesting to go to
These
another
guys
room.
don't
and
want to
take it.
ground their morality.
No
That's
more
all.
ending. No more
They keep
ending.
muting
No
me as
more
well.
nothing. Yeah. Well, I already muted you. I'm
Just
not
go
interested.
to the other
Yeah.
VC.
Yeah, but just invite me, mate. I'll come in and I like chatting with Presub, so I'll come in and chat with you. All right, buddy. Okay, buddy.
Second room? Third room?
Yeah, just drag me in. Let's go. Okay, guys.
Oh, I
I'll
don't
take him out.
have authority. I can't drag
Just
you in.
go to the VC below. Just go to the VC below. The
Yeah,
politics.
just go to the
and
politics and
religion
religion channel.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
I'll
I'll see you. I'll see you in that. Let's go.
have a good one, guys. See you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
You opened a can of worms.
I'm
Shit.
That was so derailed.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes I can't help myself. Sorry.
I really love that new word that I learned though from that book Nexus. This professor, he's an Israeli professor who's the word intersubjectivity. This idea that humans create many things just to categorize the world, and I find that fascinating. So many different systems that we've built are just based on this totally manufactured idea.
It's completely true. So intersubject morality, we would argue that most people actually do follow an intersubjective morality.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Any questions about veganism, or we can just yap for a little bit?
About
I'm
religion?
scared of having hiccups. Oh god. No, fuck you. No, please, no. I can only take so much.
It's just, it annoys me so much when people like the whole contradiction of it, because you believe in a compassionate individual who somehow is compassionate towards all beings, who says all of a sudden told us, because we have power, that we have the right to be dicks and violent towards
Chip,
other
but
beings. Yeah, sorry.
Chip, you believe in this fairy tale called biology, okay?
Yeah, it's just I just hate it when people use a compassionate individual as a justification to commit horrible things. That's what
May I
we
ask
did.
a question?
Go for it.
I'm gonna ask a question. Yeah. So listen, you guys basically would like that the whole population of the actual Earth starts eating plants, right? So what are you gonna do about exactly. So what are you gonna do about all the businesses? Because you can see it how you want it, but meat, it's something that gets consumed in a restaurant, and there's 100 millions of restaurants on this world. So how are you gonna stop them? Because there's also big food chains that have a lot of influence. For example, Kentucky Fried Chicken and stuff like that. That that actually mass kill chickens, so the whole population can get fed with Kentucky Fried Chicken. Look, I'm not for the I'm not for the point of animal abuse when they're cramped up in cages and they have no room, and then eventually they get fucking mass fed. For example, ducks in France when they made this foie gras or whatever you call it, the duck liver paste or whatever what it is. I don't condone any of that. But I mean, like, you need to have like another like respect for other people that they have a choice as well. You know, you can't just implement your.
Identity. You ask like 5 questions.
Yeah.
I was kind of tracking.
Yeah, I'm
What
sorry.
was-
I was just going on, but I just wanted to make my point clear. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Can I speak
okay.
to some of those?
Hold on. Let's go through one by one. Identity. What's the first question you have for us?
Like, how you gonna stop, like, you know, like the business part of like stuff, you know, like the actual
Okay.
restaurant.
Let's work with this. Let's work with this question. Okay, go ahead.
So the question is. Oh, you
the
want
question is
tackle it, yeah.
the question is about restaurants and businesses that sell meat products. This is actually, I think, one of the crucial things of people who do choose to have a plant-based diet as a form of activism against animal cruelty and exploitation. So you effectively influence those places when you ask, hey, what else do you have on your menu that might be plant-based? How can you feed me? Whenever a person shows up there and asks those kinds of questions, you start to move the needle towards a more humane situation. And more restaurants are knowing that there are people who come in with different dietary needs, and they're starting, especially good restaurants. Where I live, there's a lot of vegan options. There's a lot of gluten-free options. There's lots of all
That's
kinds
at
of
most
dietary.
restaurants, right? I mean, there's always salads and like vegan actual like specific like items on their menu so they can please all crowd basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but in some places that has gone so far as that there are only vegan restaurants. There's one that's less than a mile from my house. They're really cute, really cool spot. Everything they do there is vegan, because there needs to
That's
be
not
more
wrong
places.
though, you know, that's not wrong, but that's their choice, you know, but that doesn't answer the question how you're going to fight like all the other like businesses that still like, you know, like sell meat and that still have customers that consume meat, you know what I mean?
Wait. Why does that matter? Like, why does that matter morally?
Because
Like,
it
obviously, we
matters
know.
because
The question. Let me finish for a second. So 200 years ago, we as humans were doing another immoral thing. It was called slavery. I'm not comparing it to what we do now. Don't say, oh, you can't compare them. I'm saying we were doing an immoral thing. We were doing an immoral thing called slavery, and there were a lot of businesses around it. There were a lot of businesses around slavery. There was people who were catching slaves. There were people who were transporting them. There were people who were selecting them. There was a lot of business around that. Should we have not stopped slavery because of the business around it?
Look, like I can understand your point, yeah, but I think like the actual restaurant business, you know, like the actual food chain businesses is like way bigger than the slavery business, you know? Like slavery has been around for like thousands of years before we actually like ended the slavery and made it like illegal, you know what I mean?
No, but
like the thing is like
my point
like
was
but we didn't consume the slaves, you know, and it's a different thing about consuming something because
it's not the same.
Yeah,
It's exactly.
We can change quickly. We can change quickly if we wanted to.
Yeah.
We did the same thing with the change of the automobile. When the automobile was introduced, all of the infrastructure around tending to horses and all the horses and carriages and the stables, all of that industry had to die.
Yeah, I know that, but like still it took a lot of benefits with it, you know. For example, like when you like look at the roads, like when they used horses and like there was like all like filthy like feces everywhere and like you know it was like not an enjoyable commuting, you know what I mean? But the thing is, like, look, like, there's a lot of jobs that are implemented in that, you know, like the food chain is something that is like one of the biggest like businesses you can have. It's like a bad business to run, basically, but still, you know, it's like worldwide, it's like a big business, you know, and you can't just tell them like you can't sell meat anymore because like we need to like, you know, like I don't know how to say it, but like I understand your point, but you need to also understand the point of like like meat eaters, you know what I mean?
Wait. Do you think that something being immoral, let's say something not, I don't care what it is, something immoral that we're doing should be stopped or not, even if the whole world, the whole businesses in this planet depend on it? Should we stop doing this immoral thing or should we continue doing it just because businesses depend on it? Obviously, businesses can change and maybe it's difficult for them to change. But everybody can change. So the question is, should we continue supporting or doing this just because businesses depend on it or because it's easier for them to depend on it?
The problem is as well, you know, like it's not up. Like maybe I don't condone it, or like maybe I don't find it morally that, you know, that animals are getting slaughtered in like a fucking, like walking, like, you know, like in a fucking, like how you say it, like in an unhumane way, you know, like where it's like one kill after the other. But in the meantime, you know, like if you look at Japan and you look at the actual meat that comes from like the actual cow from like the A5 Wagyu, like these farmers, they treat their cows probably better than their own wives. You know, they massage them, they do everything they can. Yes, they do.
That's not true. That's a common misconception. Wagyu cows still get killed at a fraction of their lifespan. And the minute you say a human being is treated better than that cow, you are essentially really dismantling the experience of that cow has. Because that cow, regardless of how well they're treated, they are still killed at a fraction of their lifespan. Regardless, they're not treated well, by the way. That's a common myth. But even if they would be treated well, they are still killed at a fraction of their lifespan, which is not conducive to their own desires, is it? Would it be fair if a husband treats their wife nicely and then kills them at a fraction of their lifespan?
No, but like then you're coming back at the point of killing human beings, like I said like earlier, you know.
You made this comparison. You made a comparison that they get treated better than their wife.
Like, you know, like to animals, bro. Like I don't do that. Yes, I see a human being as a more like intelligent being as an animal.
I'm not going to go away from it because your statement was that for those farmers treat those cows better than they treat their wives. Those farmers
maybe. I said
kill
maybe.
their
I didn't
cows.
say that they do, but I said
you ready
they
to take
treat
it
them
back?
maybe.
Are you
Maybe.
ready to take
That's
it
what
back?
I said. Maybe.
So what do you think now
No, that's
after knowing?
what I said. That's what I said. I'm gonna stand on that. Like I said, they maybe treat their cows
What do you want to
better
say now?
than their
I don't
own
want to hear a
wives.
maybe. I don't want to hear a maybe. I want to hear a definitive
That's what I
statement
said, though.
from
That's
you.
what I said, though.
Okay, that's what you said, and I want to hear a definitive statement from you right now. Do you think that those farmers treat their wives worse than they treat their cows?
It could be. Like I never been to like a AU wife like
Do you
like a
think
cow
that
farmer
there's
that
farmers
like, I
who
never
kill
been
their
there,
wives
but
at
like
a fraction of their lifespan?
no, because they know that that their wife is a human being. You know what I
So then
mean?
there
Like
is
that's
no
what I.
farmer, if there's no farmer that kills their wife at a fraction of their lifespan, yet all of those farmers kill their cows at a fraction of their lifespan, then there is no farmer who treats their wives better
Look,
or
yeah,
worse
I'm gonna
than they
give you
treat
an
their
example.
cows.
Yeah, I worked at a sheep farm. Yeah, but the guy that just herded sheeps, like he didn't kill the sheeps, like he just used the sheeps for their like actual wool. You know, like that's what he used. He didn't kill any of them sheeps, and
No, but
he
somehow he
treated
had a
them
fixed
like
amount
they
of
were like they were like they had the best lives. They had like hundreds of acres to roam around in. But you know
hundreds of
what was
acres.
funny? Like, you know how many sheep actually died because they got fucking tangled into some fucking bushes, and they got tangled up in something else, and they just couldn't get out, and they just died for no reason. You know how many fucking sheep I needed to pull out a fucking ditch because they died there. You know what I mean?
But do you know why they
Overnight
died
because
there?
they just
Do you
got
know why
trapped
they
for
died
like
there? Do you know why they died there?
Probably because they got into a mess with something, and they got entangled and couldn't get out, and like probably got exhausted and died of like a natural cause. But still, they died for no reason.
They
It could
died.
be a
They
lamb, it could
died.
be whatever,
No,
you
no,
know?
no. They died because you, as the human who say you care about them, have put them encapsulated in a big field, not a small field. It's a big cage. But you did capture them, you're keeping them captive, and you're putting things that they would not naturally know how to behave
infrastructure, you
with.
know, like people
Like
drive with their car. You
fences.
can't just have the sheep like roam all over the fucking planet, just
Doesn't matter.
like free.
It doesn't
Like
matter.
I can
So
understand
if
your
I
point, but
no,
still, like, you know, if they have enough room, they should use that room and not go to the end of the fucking edge and then try to get,
maybe they
you know,
don't
like
want. Maybe
past
they
that
don't want
edge.
to
You know what I
be.
mean?
Maybe they don't want to be on that field. Maybe they want to be
Yeah,
free.
but like, why not? Like, I mean, like, look, they
It's their
have no.
will. Who gives a
look,
shit? Why not? Why would I say? So wait a minute. If you have a will, that's something that is the will to be free. Should I say, hell, wait. If you'll be free, you'll be harmed. It's better if I keep you captive in my backyard. I give you all the food that you need. It's a big yard. It's big enough for you to walk around. So is it better? Am I looking after your interests by me forcing you to be? Actually, I would essentially be saying it is for your interest, but this person is not keeping the sheep for their interest. They're keeping them for the wool. So yet again, it's you are using an animal, you are acting immorally towards them, you are keeping them captive. And by the way, I'm sure they were killed, because you know what? That number of sheep was not continuously increasing, was it? It wasn't a fixed number, was it? Or was it a fixed number? How many sheep did he have, that individual that you talk about? I don't know what happens. Are you still there, Identity? Yeah, it's also dropped in the comments here. That's very well put. When somebody would pull off the wool, when a wild sheep would get entangled, they could just pull off the wool. But because of our our way of domesticating them, and because we have been selectively breeding them to make a lot of wool and pretty strong wool, they cannot escape those situations. So they end up in those situations yet again because of us. So when we say we look after them, that's just so disingenuous, isn't it? I look after my animals. That's why I cut their throat at a normal age. That's why I exploit them for an optional product and I get money from it. But I do it in a nice way. Pfft, what a load of bollocks. Nothing impressive about it. But Sina's Identity cannot reply, maybe having some connection issues. Does anybody else have questions about veganism?
I don't think I have a question right now, but you just brought up a topic that has been very interesting to me, is the topic of free will. And I actually don't think that free will is a thing. The evidence that I've recently consumed suggests that free will is not inherently a thing, but desire is. Like the desires of a living thing are measurable, but free will is a fascinating topic that yeah, I've been forming an opinion on, and I think my opinion is that there isn't free will.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe there isn't, maybe there is, but we could definitely say that there is just as much free will for humans as there is for animals.
Yeah, desire. Well, the desire of any living thing to survive, to pursue the things it needs to survive.
Exactly.
Like that's and so that's very clearly measurable and observable. And so that the works that that I read was I've mentioned it before in the conversation here, is Robert Sapolsky. It may also help in discussion or arguments that people have when they bring up the stupid argument of like, well, what about plants? And the simple thing there is that his science is actually what I love about his science is that he's a neurologist, so he studies things that pertain to neurons, and neurons are this uniquely abundant cell in animals. It's not a thing that's present at all in plants. So we associate neurons with consciousness and sentience. We do not associate any cellular activity that we observe in plants, as cool as they are, and the communications they have is the cool things they do. It's still not the same. But his book called Determined, I'll put it in the chat, is a fascinating read about nervous tissue, about the human mind, and how we're really just the sum of our experiences, and the sensory organ in our head is just doing the best it can with the information it's taken in. And sadly, as we've observed in a lot of the conversations here, there's a lot of people who have been taught something that's very firmly, and they're not necessarily open to different perspectives.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. By the way, I think I'm gonna skedaddle. I have a thing tonight, and I need to get ready for it. So I'm gonna exit the Discord. Bye, everyone.
See you later, Chip.
Okay, everyone. So that's it. Tonight I have Raf. I'm now a moderator because Lodovike is sick, as I said before. So I'm gonna go. I have some things to take care of. But before I go, first of all, shout out to Draculum for having the first comment. And next, you know what? Next, for the next shout out, you don't just have to comment. That's also awesome. But the person who first answers this riddle, I would say a riddle. The first person to answer this riddle will get the shout out. Is that good? Can we do that? I think that would be cool. Let me just, because I wrote down the riddle. I was looking for it here, but I couldn't find it. Meanwhile, I can answer questions if anybody has some questions. Oh yeah, let me end the poll. And in the poll, by the way, which is interesting, it says, the question was, does a cow feel differently than a dog if both would be forced into a slaughterhouse? I said into a slaughterhouse, I guess I misspelled there. And 137 people out of that, 62% said no, which is of course normal. And 37% said yes. So 37% of people think that a dog would feel differently in the same slaughterhouse as a cow. That is insane. That is insane to have that view. It's insane. Okay, I saw questions. Wait, I saw one question that I want to answer before I go. I'm trying to find it in this chat. 1 second. So that I can highlight it. Okay, there you go. Chip, why is it okay for an animal to eat me, but not okay for me to eat an animal? It's not okay for an animal to eat you also. I would say if an animal is eating you, you are well within your rights to defend yourself and kill that animal so that they don't eat you. However, if an animal does kill and eat you, I don't think necessarily that an animal was acting in bad intent. They weren't intentionally targeting you because of your species or because of who you are as an individual. They were merely trying to feed themselves and they didn't have any other choice. You, however, are in none of those positions. When you pay for animals to be exploited and slaughtered, you do it so on the basis of their species and without you ever needing to do it. Lewis was also among the first. He was just merely seconds away from Draculum. Okay, I found a riddle. It is not an easy one, by the way. I used ChatGPT, of course, to help me with the riddle, and I found it difficult. So I'll say the riddle right now, okay? I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? You can listen to it back. And maybe I'll say it again, but let's see if there's more questions. Wait, what? So this Draco guy is the head beta, and I had his angry attention all stream. I'm so blessed. Listen, man, we don't create value systems here. We don't call people alpha or beta based on some form of I am stronger or better than you or I can dominate you. I don't know, whatever is in your head. There's no such thing as alpha or beta in this stream. But the fact that you alone objectify even humans so much as to call some of them alpha or beta speaks volumes to your character, doesn't it? I see some people already responding to it. Damn it. Wait, more interesting questions. How can you claim to understand the feeling of a cow or a dog when you're human? When you're human, your perception of their emotions could be entirely misguided. Maybe, just like my perception of your emotions could be entirely misguided. I don't claim to understand the emotions that you are feeling. All I claim to understand is the fact that you are feeling emotions and the fact that you would prefer for me to not completely disregard your individuality and cut your throat for something that I don't need. Obviously, you would prefer that I don't cut your throat regardless. But in a situation where you need to do it, you could morally justify doing it, right? Because you need to do it, right? In a situation where I need to kill a human to survive, I may be able to say that it wasn't immoral for me to kill that human being, or at least that it is in some form or another justified. But that's not the situation. But in a day-to-day life, I could never justify killing a human being, can I? So in the same way, I cannot justify killing a human being, an animal, because I don't need to. So there's no need, and I acknowledge that they have emotions. I don't need to understand their emotions. I just need to know that they do. Just like I don't understand your emotions. Somebody said justice for plants. Okay, love it. Justice for plants. So in order for you to make justice for plants, you would have to inherently be supporting less plants being killed, correct? So in order for you to support less plants being killed would imply that you would have to go vegan, because as a vegan, you kill considerably less plants. A lot of the times people forget that the animals that we exploit and slaughter, I was going to say forcefully send to slaughterhouses, but I just wanted to add the exploitation part to it. These animals, we feed them considerably more plants than we could have otherwise eaten. And I know some people were going to go like, well, cows eat grass, women don't eat grass. We don't just eat cows, first of all. We also eat other animals. We exploit and slaughter other animals. And a lot of the times, all these other animals and all these other, including cows, are fed plants that we can actually eat. And even if they would be fed plants that we cannot eat, those plants still have to be grown. You still would have to use that space specifically for animals. You would still be killing more plants, and we could be growing more plants for ourselves, killing less plants in the process by simply eating them ourselves. I hope you understand that. I'm a bit tired and my arguments get a bit long. Let's see, what are the questions? Henry Zoom, a classical on this channel, a classical person, but troll who comes to this channel often. Is it possible, but do you have to do all this stuff or take supplements and substitute to death when our diets have treated us perfectly fine? Of course we can thrive on a plant-based diet. You can even thrive without supplementation, yes. Chip, the animal doesn't need to eat flesh, they can find other food. You're wrong. I don't think animals would kill you either in self-defense or out of hunger. Animals don't kill like we do because we get taste pleasure from it, buddy. But you're welcome to prove my point, to prove me wrong. Hey, Peg is here. Nice to see you here, Peg. I have a choice, so do they. Yeah, sure, buddy. Keep lying to yourself. And let's imagine, okay, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'll even say that. I'll grant you this. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. But let's start on the hypothetical that you are right. You have a choice. Let's say you have a choice, and so do animals. Do you think that just because an animal does something that makes it moral? Animals could be acting immorally also, right? Other humans could be acting immorally also. Do you think that if a human does something, it automatically makes it moral? Do you understand that perspective? Let's put it this way. A lion, in order to mate with the female sooner, they will often kill all the males in their tribe. Tribe is just a special word for group. And they will kill all those males in order to be able to mate with their females. If a human being chooses to do that and justifies it by saying lions do it or other animals do it, would it be moral for that human being to do it? Such a ridiculous argument, is it not? But either way, I think I'm done. I would see everybody, I don't know yet. I was hoping tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're going to see each other tomorrow. It's still up in the air. Wait, somebody else. Another troll. Chip, don't lie. You enjoyed all that meat and dairy. Brother, I'll tell you right here, right now, I quit eating meat because I was not enjoying it, by the way. So that's actually a factually wrong statement, and I quit eating meat for a long time ago. Dairy products were never a big deal for me anyway, so quitting dairy was pretty easy. So yeah, you're factually wrong in also many ways. And even if you would be right, and I would have enjoyed, let's start on the premise that you're right, that I used to enjoy consuming animal flesh and products coming from animal exploitation. The fact that I enjoyed them and the fact that I no longer do that means that I have made a moral decision that my pleasure, my enjoyment, does not mean more than the exploitation, slaughter, and other awful experiences that we do to those animals, does it? So there you go. I think I've already answered you this question, and it seems like you're not listening. You can just wind back and listen to it. Hi Chip, could you please debate with Million as he keeps making flawed arguments? Okay, let's see. What does Million say? Is he here in the chat? Yeah. I love to season my steak with plants like rosemary and oregano, but it's legal and not an abuse to kill animals. Okay, do you think that that makes it... Do you think the legality of an action makes it moral or not? So you think if something is legal, it's automatically also moral? I'll just wait for an answer. Do you think that if something is legal, it is also automatically moral? Come on, Million, I gotta go. If all humans die, the planet is fine. If all animals die, the planet is fine. But when all plants die, we're all dead. Okay, Million, I see you're incapable of answering questions and you keep making logical fallacies on top of just simply moving the goalposts, which is one of the most dumbest logical fallacy to be making in the first place anyway. Oh, if all humans die, the planet is fine. If all animals die, the planet is fine. But if all plants die, we're all dead. Brother, what even is that argument? That is not true. You do understand that ecosystems depend on all members of that ecosystems. Plants also depend on insects. Do you understand that? Jesus Christ! These arguments are becoming stupider and stupider. I swear to God. Like even if that would be the case, fuck it. I'm a generous guy today, and I'll say it. Even if that is the case, how does that morally justify you exploiting animals and killing more plants in the process, huh? Oh, look at that. Million replied to my question. Yes, but eating animals are legal and not an abuse. So you think that something being legal automatically makes it moral. There you go, everybody. This is a perfect place to end on. This person, Million, thinks that if something is legal, then it's automatically moral. In other words, when slavery was legal, Million thought, well, that's moral. In other words, when women didn't have rights, this person thought that that was moral. Shall I continue? Shall I continue? Because there's a lot of things that are illegal and they're moral, and a lot of things that are moral and not illegal. Do you understand what an appeal to legality is, which is the logical fallacy that you're committing right here? Anyway, I have to go anyway. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Remember the riddle. Remember the riddle? Yeah. Look at that. Look, see? More moving of goalposts. I'm talking about today. Slavery is not legal. Do you think that there aren't actions today that are classified as legal, but yet they're immoral? Oh, brother, Million. You lack a lot of logic in your argumentation. I hope you do get better and come back and then listen to these, maybe have conversations. But definitely look into logical fallacies. They'll help you out with your argumentation skills. That's it. Just look into logical fallacies. The minute you look into logical fallacies, you understand the logical fallacies that you might be committing, you will be able to defend your arguments. Otherwise, when you come up with ridiculous logical fallacies, we end up in the same places, and you just end up looking stupider, which is not something you want. And we cannot possibly have a decent conversation because of it. So, yeah, look into that, and then we can have a conversation. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for everybody who donated. Let me see if I can see their name right now. Oh my God, we had quite a couple. So thank you so much. Renee, thank you for the donation. I did this morning make it so that I can highlight donations, but they don't show that they're like donations, and you see this little box and that they're different colors, so I'll change that soon. Thank you so much, Marcos. I appreciate you. Jesse, thank you for making a donations, even though you said something that is ridiculous. I appreciate it, and that money, rest assured, will go towards fighting for animal rights. So thank you for that. Mark J says, Chips monumental patience with cruelty and ignorance, a master advocate. Thank you, Mark J, also for your donation. And yes, everything you have donated will go towards fighting for animal rights. So thank you so much for everybody for that. I will see you in the next one. If it's not tomorrow, if it's not Sunday, I don't know yet, that they're both kind of in the air. Then Jesus, I read somebody saying in the chat. Then Monday, I will definitely be back, and I will be on TikTok then, and also on YouTube. So I'll be on both, and I'll be streaming also the conversations from TikTok. I'll be on Vegan Stoner Ladies TikTok. So see you then.